Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Lair of Secrets podcast, where we play Scum and Villainy for the next few months. We're here. We're a bunch of middle-aged gamers, mostly lapsed podcasters. Some lapsed podcasters, some not. We're really just here to have fun. So our first session was last week, where our crew went into. Well, I should have had this as notes up. The Ashtari Cloud in the Rin system to pick up and smuggle a box back to Warren, and they found out that there was a person inside. After running from what they found out later was a Sahir ship, they were able to get back to Warren and deliver said person to their contact who had hired them. Although they were accosted along the way by a Sahir and its echoes, but our our muscle, Jagger. I always mispronounce that for some reason. I think I've got Pacific Rim too much in my head. That's why. It's Jagger. He put his moves on the echoes and took them all out fairly quickly. Since then, they've been kind of hanging out, relaxing, repairing the ship a little bit, doing various things. When they've gotten some new possibilities for a job, which we've talked about over this last week, and you guys had all decided to go with a client, a Roy Stantz, who's a biologist, and he's well. Let's actually get into that. So, out of character, chosen that job, but you are all on Warren. I actually had a thing here. Where did it go? Pardon me for this. I had a whole write-up for getting in there, and now I'm missing it all. This is the one problem with having a nice place to store all your stuff, but it's all in different files. Okay, so Warren, moon of Aleph. It's an ecumenopolis, which is a city that encompasses the entire moon. The sprawling city embedded deep over the entire surface of the planet. It's capital of the Rin system and a seat of power for the House Malclaith, and in the entire Procyon sector. It's also a hive of scum and villainy, where anything can be bought for a price. We see the camera descend along the sky rises, lowering down through the clouds that gather thousands of feet above the surface. Below the cloud cover, passing hover cars and anti-grav eateries float between the buildings. We pass a mid-level club with its bass beat pouring through the holo windows. Down and down until the light of Rin is but a memory. In the Undercity, a place well known by our crew, and we arrive at one of their haunts, the Loch Luna. The bar and one of the crew's friends, and sometimes job broker, Alor, is a bartender there. And we find our crew, what do we find our crew doing at the Loch Luna? Chris, our Stitch. What's the professor doing?
The professor is trying flights of the local beers.
Gotcha.
And he's trying to describe them to Jagger, if Jagger is listening.
Oh, Jagger's always listening.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Loch Luna is not known for its craft brewery, but it does have a selection of different beers from around Warren that range from horrible to watery.
Yeah, and that's the fun of it. You see, this tastes like this. Have you ever had swamp water that's been strained through like an old sock? Because that's what this is like. Here, try some of this.
You understand that I don't have a mouth or taste buds of any kind.
And yet you're talking. So join
It's
me.
sure. And I'll take the glass from the professor and I'll toss it back over my shoulder and then give him back the empty glass.
Okay. All right.
I lean over. Now you tell him it was delicious.
It tastes exactly as the best swamp water I've ever had.
It's possibly your doctor is like one sheet to the wind at this point.
Yep. Maybe more than one.
Maybe one.
Meanwhile, Jagger is just kind of trying to calculate exactly how much effect this would have on your fighting skills or anyone's fighting skills. Like, how much is it diminished?
Oh,
what are his chances? Not necessarily you, but the other patrons, just in case something breaks out.
Oh yeah, sure.
So he's grilling you with questions about, how fast could you punch me right now? How hard do you think you could hit me?
I mean, as hard as any other day. I mean, I don't know what you're asking.
And noting that the professor's answers seem to be, he gets more and more confident that he could take Jagger.
Right. And yet less coordinated.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Although
Wait. I have a problem with this. You're asking him how hard and how fast he can hit you.
Well, he's a baseline.
I'm
am
offended.
I'm a base.
I'm the one that punches people. That's my job. You can't go giving away my job. I'm offended.
I punch people pretty good. Speaking of people I punched, those guys in the blindfolds, they chose to wear blindfolds, right? They're not actually blind. I didn't beat up 5 blind guys.
You totally beat up 5 blind guys.
Well,
I mean, I had some respect for you before this, but now that I know that you hit blind guys, I don't know.
Well, I mean, they looked like they might be about to hit us, and I couldn't take that chance.
The echoes, Jagger knows that, you did see that they appeared very aware of their surroundings, and some of them, were able to avoid a punch or two. So they obviously knew you were punching at them.
They've got some kind of sonar.
Yeah. So, but you're not, definitely not a visual in a normal human sense.
I'm not actually it's not a spreadsheet per se of the people that I beat up, but there is a column that
it's a database
represents certain, let's call them different abilities.
It's a monster manual. You have an intro monster manual.
I do. I want to, just want to make sure that I got the stats right.
Okay.
Just want to say, I respected you more when I thought they were blind.
I don't know what that says about you.
Twitch, this is awful. Try it.
Okay. Just takes it and chugs it.
So what is Twitch? What is Twitch up to?
Mostly just hanging back with the guys, and he's mostly hanging around the doctor. The doctor is the Stitch is pretty much his best friend at this point. So
Flyer.
Gotcha.
So yeah, basically, if Stitch is like, "Here, drink this," he's drinking it.
Ordwell, our pilot, what's he up to?
So bored. Like just sitting back at one of the tables, like feet kicked up, like just taking he's taking some of the darts from around the room, just like tossing them up in the air, and then he catches it without even looking as it comes back down again. It's like, when are we gonna leave? Come on, guys. I gave up like a great night of drinking for this. And this is a bad night of drinking.
You have no idea. Try some of this.
I don't need to. I can smell it from here.
You're missing the most important part if you're just getting the smell.
Yes, burned peat.
How about Karma, our scoundrel here?
She has various pamphlets to places where she can go sightseeing, and she's sifting through them. And as Ordwell complains, she shoves a pamphlet into his face and says, "We'll go here tomorrow."
So these
Okay.
are these like the pamphlets that you would see like at the hotel lobby that almost never
exactly
get,
the one.
like almost people almost never pick up.
Let's go
Visit the
ziplining,
cave.
guys.
Please visit the cave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
can we go ziplining? I've never been ziplining.
That sounds fun. I go and I flip through my pamphlets to go find the zip lining.
Yeah. Zip line between sky rises.
With rockets.
sounds-
Let's
With
make this
rockets.
interesting.
With rockets.
With
Whoa!
rockets and no zip lines.
That makes it even better.
Because you don't want to get stuck on the zip line, right? Like,
Yeah.
sure. Zip lining between high rises is all cool and all, but like, what happens if you just get to that spot where this is like a little too much slack in the line, right?
Yep.
That's where you need rockets.
Yep. There's another pamphlet talking about the edge where you're up at a section of a skyrise that's above the cloud layer, and you can walk on the outside of a building with like a climbing harness and lean out over the edge. Although there's a big sticker over the portion of it where it says you can lean out over the edge, that you've peeled away, but the sticker is just a big white sticker. But you've heard that they no longer offer that service as
Couple of
there were
fatalities.
the date between accidents was a little too much for them to keep paying off the authorities to let them keep doing it. So if you view Warren as kind of like the city at the beginning of Fifth Element, you've got a good as New York City, you've got a good impression of it with between that and the Netflix version of what's the name of that one? It's the sci-fi series where people have the chip in the neck where they can switch bodies. Altered Carbon.
Yeah.
So if you've seen Altered Carbon, where all the rich people are really, really high up above the clouds and everybody else kind of lives in the smog, kind of a combo of those two things.
Then invites the question of where are we in the whole.
You are in the Undercity. So this is not just below the cloud cover, but you're actually underground where they've dug into the surface of the moon. And, this city covers the entire surface of the moon, and has dug into it as well. So
is this the place where there's no vermin because vermin has better standards than this?
Vermin are, I would say the vermin are pretty tough. They probably live above Undercity. So,
Furman sitting there chewing a cigar saying, "What you gonna pay me to get through here?"
But Ordwell, you toss that dart up again and reach back to grab it, but it doesn't come back to your hand. And everybody, you realize that your bartender bringing another round of drinks for you. You see Alor. He's dark-skinned, shaved bald. His right eye has been replaced with obvious cybernetics. And you've known him for a while. He sits down a round of drinks, and another flight of kind of like a flight, but these are just mainly just shots, and kind of slides into the booth with you all and says, "So I've got that job. I had two, but the other one got taken. So are you guys still up for some work?"
Please, anything.
Yeah, sure. So
As the darts come like raining down behind him because he didn't catch them.
no, the one that you missed, he had caught and puts on the table.
There you go.
And he sits down. He kind of twitches a little bit. There's a sound from his mechanical eye as it glitches out. And you've seen this kind of thing happen before. Alor was another smuggler similar to you all until an accident that is part of the reason why he has the eye. And so he was able to get the job as the bartender to kind of make ends meet, but in order to make decent money, he's the middleman for a lot of jobs, and that's how you all met him. The right eye, unfortunately, was created by a sub guild, which no longer exists, so he can't get it fixed. But he sits down. Yeah, so I've got this guy, wants someone followed, and wants to get some information from him. You'll have to talk to him specifically for it. Obviously I'm not giving a lot of details, but I can give you all a little bit of info. Guy's name's Roy Stance. He's I've known him for a little while, but he's looking for some information, and I think the job is going to be to keep an eye on someone. I don't know if it's a love interest or professional interest. I'm not sure, but I think there's also some breaking and entering or data retrieval as well as part of this job.
That sounds like fun.
Could be.
How much does it pay? And how many days are we talking of babysitting somebody?
You'll have to talk to him about that. What I understand, it's a decent pay. Rumors have it maybe not as much as you got paid last time, but it's on Warren, so you don't have to get in your ship. So you don't have to pay for upkeep on that.
Stop making Ordwell happy.
Are there hover bikes? Are there
Probably. I mean, there's the lemons.
What are opportunities for going really, really fast?
Yeah.
I flip through my pamphlets and show them a dirt biking spot.
Yeah.
Hey.
Dirt biking through the forgotten sewers of the Undercity.
Nicely inconspicuous.
Yeah.
Those things do not look up to code.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He slaps down two items on the table. He slaps down a chip to show a communications chip that'll allow you to plug in and talk with your client. And then he also puts down a tile that's about 3 inches by 3 inches square. It's kind of a plastic tile, and slides it over toward Jagger. Dang it. I'm going to get it right one of these days. Slides it over toward Jagger. Says, "These are kind of new. Heard you mechanicals kind of might like them. So this one's on the house."
Did he just give me a floppy disk?
It kinda. It looks kinda like it. It's a little translucent on the top, and when you pick it up, lights flash on it, kind of like the programmer Game of Life sort of movement and stuff. And the rest of you see Jagger go like still for a little bit. It only lasts for about a second or two, and then the tile goes dark. And Jagger, you feel a little wobbly. You feel pretty good. Pretty invincible. Pretty intoxicated.
Well, that's a little different.
Yeah, it's it's a different type of invincible. You know, it's
I know it's dark. The translucent has gone dark, but he takes it and he sets it back down on the table and he pushes it over to the professor. And goes, here, try this.
Professor picks it up.
It stays dark.
Yeah.
Toss it over his shoulder. Nice. Alor says, yeah, sorry. They only activate once. It's like an empty glass after that. So, but let me know how you like it. I'll see about getting more.
I'm interested. I believe the phrase is, hook me up, man.
He pats you on the shoulder as he gets up and slides out of the booth and collects your empties.
Oh, where do we meet this guy?
I think we just got a comm for him, right?
Yeah, you have a chip in the center of your table to be able to talk to him.
Okay.
You guys talk. I have to study this. He's basically just going to stare at Jagger.
Jagger's just kind of he has completely stopped looking around at the other patrons in the bar, and he's just kind of like totally zoned right now. Just has not moved since shoving the thing over to, and then every once in a while, his head just like goes.
It'll last probably about half an hour. So yeah, you guys, you all could call him from here, or you could go to someplace more private to call him.
I prefer going back to the ship so that our job doesn't get stolen or underbid.
Also a good possibility.
I love this plan. I'm excited to be a part of it.
You don't talk business in public like this.
All right.
Don't talk
For me.
in public. I got it. I see what I've been doing wrong, guys. See what I've been doing wrong.
All right. Back on the ship then. You are in what area of the ship? You could be probably the best place that has a decent amount of room in the ship would be your galley or the medical bay. One of the two.
No, that sends the wrong message. I like the galley better.
Galley? Okay. So you call, you make the call, and it's a full holo call that starts, and you see what looks like a kind of like a space-suited man in gray, or not gray, like a tan suit, full helmet, some very unwieldy looking black metal backpack, or like environmental unit attached to the suit. And he says, hello, crew of the Star Dancer. I'm Roy Stantz. How you doing?
We're
Doing
healthy and ready
great.
to work. So nice to meet you, Roy Stantz. We
Yeah.
understand some problems you want us to look into.
Yeah, I'm a biologist, and I do a little other stuff on the side, but like I am looking to have someone. I'm looking to have a particular person. I need to know their whereabouts for the duration of this next week, And if possible, I can give you a bonus if you can get their research.
And what kind of research do they do, and where do they keep it?
I can tell you where they keep it, but I don't want to tell you what their research is.
Okay. And I presume you want this person to remain alive.
Yes.
Kind of
Yeah,
hard.
I don't need anything done with her. I just need her followed and let me know everything that happens with her over the course of this next week. And then at some point during that time, if you could grab that research as well, that would be, I could give you a bonus for it.
Now, do you need a constant update, or is this just at the end of the week you want a whole list of what she did every day?
I'd like to have a daily update.
Daily update. Okay. Well, that sounds doable. And how much is that worth to you?
He quotes a figure, and will hand wave the negotiations of it.
Okay.
So, but yeah,
Alrighty. That sounds like a pretty good. Are there any particular situations of context? I mean, presuming we're good enough not to get caught, but on the occasional, I'm presuming this person is not particularly dim-witted if she has research. To which then begs the question, if she figures out that we're tailing her, how would you like us to handle that?
well, if she figures out you're tailing her, that's more your problem than mine. So handle it however you see
any
fit.
way our imagination deems necessary?
I mean, I don't. I'm not asking you to hurt her or do anything like that. I just want information on her whereabouts over the next week. You do what you think is necessary. So I don't have any over attachment to her either. So, but she works at a research center on a skyrise about the mid levels below the cloud cover, and her apartment is in a nearby another nearby skyrise a few levels lower, and I can give you the addresses for both.
And what's her name? Name.
Okay. Her name is Cambry.
Jagger pipes up at this point, and he is clearly having some volume of his voice modulation issues right now. And he says, there is a very low probability that we will be detected. Stealth is my middle name. And then he turns to Professor and says, that was a lie. My middle name is A66. And he turns back.
Yes, it is.
And the when you turned to the professor, was that in a louder than normal voice?
It was
definitely not whispering.
Quieter. Definitely not whispering or quiet.
Gotcha.
Twitch is just taking notes of every movement that he's making.
Okay. Oh, of Jagger?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, so yeah, if you could I want Cambry's whereabouts for the next week, and any research that she has. The research she may have copies at her apartment, but more than likely the copies will be at the research center that she's at.
Okay, will do.
Okay.
All right.
I think that's about all I need out of this.
All right. Yeah. So are there any other questions? Or otherwise I will smash to the next phase of things, which is figuring out how you guys are going to do this.
I have nothing to add.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing I can think of.
So we will. So the call ends, and you guys start talking about it, planning, etc. and we'll talk about how do you guys want to do this job.
Well,
What's
we should probably know what she researches before we go wandering around. I mean, if she's researching toxins or something that she can aerosol into our faces, we should probably know that.
So you want to look into her
Yeah, I
before you
presume we have people who do that.
start the job, or as... Okay.
I think that would be a good plan.
Who else is there any other...
I guess it really depends on which way we want to do this. Do we want to try and be stealthy, or do we want to go meet her face to face? I mean, I am no stranger to doing research on people. I mean, doing research. So,
I think we would want to be stealthy. That's sort of the job. So we'll also need a variety of disguises, if you will,
Okay.
to be able to switch our personas around and not get made.
So how are you looking up more information on this Cambry?
I look at the rest of the crew before I go for my contact. Any of you guys good at research like that?
I could probably look through the old academic stuff, my old connections.
That seems a little bit more likely than me finding us.
I was gonna say I could try to hack into some databases, see what she pops into and stuff.
Let me start with the academic journals and university stuff. I still have my logins to those.
Oh, sweet. It saves me some time. I'll just
Do
lounge.
we know what company she works for?
Nope.
You got that? Oh, okay. Well, we should know that.
Well,
too.
you do know the address of the research facility.
Okay.
But you haven't looked any of that up yet.
Okay.
So what I'm asking for is who is doing the looking up? What skill are you guys using to look that stuff up?
I will do the looking up, and I'm using my study skill.
Sounds good. Right now, I would say that it's controlled because you're in a fairly controlled environment. But if you're looking up via the journals and things like that, I would say it's going to have a limited effect. So,
well, we'll start there and see where it goes.
All right, we've got
yeah. So I've got 2 dice to start.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I guess I could take a stress to pull an all-nighter, so that gives me an extra die.
Okay. So you're going to push yourself?
Push myself, yeah. So,
and then you've got, just as a reminder, the ship plus your scoundrel's special ability gives you 3 gambit for this session. That
I'm going to hold off on. I was going to hold off on using any gambits unless people object.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right. Rolling 3 dice. 6, 4, 3.
Ooh, 6. Nice. You do it. You do find her in some of the journals. They're kind of old. It actually, you find that she's been a researcher for a little while, but you find that the last paper she published was prior to the last, where is that? It was prior to the last hegemonic ascendancy. So when the government last changed was the last time that she was there, and she is listed as part of her credentials was that she was part of the Church of the Emerald Heart.
Okay. So I relay this. Does it give any information about what her area of research was? Did she publish? that kind of thing?
Well, because you know what, I'm going to give you this because you are a Stitch. The Church of the Emerald Heart was politically destroyed during that ascendancy of the new hegemony, the leadership. They were hunted down by the Church of the Stellar Flame, and their few remaining members are now known as the Mendicants,
Oh boy.
which are they were a healing order.
Okay.
So
But no information on, like, she worked in genetics or she worked in artificial intelligence.
The research you have shows that the paper you have is basically a research paper on harnessing the way to heal the body.
All right, that's of interest to me. I'll file that one away from my long-term project.
Okay.
So, New Age hippie.
So I can
Healing with Crystals was the title.
Yeah. First, remove the crystals from the afflicted person's body.
Yes.
Then, all right. I return to the group and kind of give them a little bit of this history and say, if she's still active, she would be a mendicant, which was once Church of the Emerald Heart, but they got destroyed by this other group. Her research was around using the way to heal the body, which I personally find interesting. So I wouldn't mind getting a look at the research that we steal when we steal it. But that's what I've got. So if she's part of the mendicants, she's probably working someplace relatively low class and under the radar.
Yeah. So relaying that, I'm also gonna give our scoundrel Karma. You looked up that address of where she was, where the research center is. It appears to be kind of like it's a research center, kind of like it gives good access to knowledge and papers and libraries, etc., but also research and laboratory space. But it's one of those places, kind of like where you rent the space. So
Okay.
there's multiple different researches. It's kind of like an incubator where there's multiple different independent researchers doing their own research, but this is a facility that gives them gives them space, gives them access to information, information feeds, etc. And it looks like that is where she is working at. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Ordwell.
So what level of the city is she on? Is the research facility on, and where is her apartment on? Like, is it
Old mid-level.
mid-level? Okay, I missed that part.
Yeah, so 500th floor for the research center area, and maybe somewhere in the mid 400s for her apartment in a different skyrise.
So what would people? I mean, I think this is something we would just know, but like, what do people's commutes look like? Are they, doing the Futurama, hamster tube, getting sucked through the cityscape, or are they like, hover cars, or like in
I think it's a combination. I believe it's a combination of like all of those things.
Okay.
If you're at a really horrible job and you're working in the Undercity, I think there's a lot more tube travel, as you put it. But if you're working at the mid levels, there's definitely either mass transit, like hover buses and taxis. There's personal hover cars. There's probably trams that go between a few of them that like might have like a tram line that's all through there, but then when you get off, the platform kind of moves over to they're not actually connected to the skyrise, but they'll land you at the skyrise.
Okay. So I think with this background information, if we're setting up our engagement, and
Yep.
it sounds like we would want to go with some form of infiltration, where it's like it says there isn't a good one for like shadowing someone, right? But infiltration sounds it's trespass unseen, and the detail is the point of infiltration. So I could see like we're trying to infiltrate her apartment, or we are trying to infiltrate her place of work, like maybe even as our starting point to be able to tail her back from where she is, either from where she's starting from or where she's going to,
Mm-hmm.
or she was.
Yeah.
I don't know if that came out right.
Yeah,
I'm
you
thinking
know,
towards the end of the week we break into her lab.
you know her general apartment floor, but you don't know which apartment she's in. But you would be able to, yeah, you could, as part of your engagement role, you know, basically be figuring out what floor and where she is on that one skyrise, and then you know the address of the multi-floor research center, and then you'd be able to figure out more about getting into there. You know, I could see a couple of things that you could do. You could infiltration, definitely one. I could also see like a social thing where you go in and try and, you know, say, oh, I'm looking at renting some space here or whatever, and going that route to get into the research center. You know, but it's all up to how you guys want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, deception would be another one. Like, you know, given her background, like, you know, so we were interested in this. We could be. It might be
You could bring up her.
Pass this off.
Well, you could use deception and like as an example, you could bring up that old paper of hers and say, hey, I'm interested in this. Could I get more information? You know, even though you're not really caring, except, you know, the Stitch, you know, professor might be interested, but the rest of the crew isn't interested.
Right. Other lost members of the Church of the Emerald Heart, you know, but I feel like we would need a lot of specialized knowledge to pull off being a former member of a sect.
Just as a from a game mechanics standpoint, if we were to choose infiltration and say that the point of infiltration, we were, let's say, early in the week planning to break into her apartment and see what we could find there. If we chose her apartment as the point of entry, then our engagement role would probably determine whether or not we were able to figure out exactly where her apartment was so that we could, say, fly the ship to her window and try to break in from the outside, kind of a thing.
Yeah,
I thought we had her address.
You have
her address, but we don't have the specific apartment.
You have like the floor, the apartment block sort of thing that she lives in, but you don't have like she lives on 12F, you know.
Right. So I think this is setting up like the point where the action begins. Right. Yeah. So if we rolled particularly well, then I think where we would end up is like you're in the apartment, she's just left for work.
Yeah.
Right.
Something like that.
And you have it exactly where you need to be. If we kind of fumble it, like you're arriving just as she's leaving, or like there's some complication, right? She bumps into us on the way out. And then like, you know, we fail the engagement roll, you're in the wrong apartment. But you know where the right apartment is now, but there's a bunch of gangsters in the apartment that you just broke into, right? Does that sound about right from a mechanic standpoint?
Yep.
David?
Yep. 100%.
One way or another, we're in the thick of it.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to the role being just knowledge.
Cat's got to go to bed.
Oh, you puppy.
All right.
So
clearly,
so you've got two choices to make, which is how you're going to start the engagement, which sounds like infiltration. And then the second thing is the point of infiltration. So are you going to try to infiltrate the apartment, or are you going to try to like just start tracing her movements? Are you going to try to infiltrate the research facility? You know, that sort of thing.
But I think social also has like is also attractive because that's not social.
You could do social.
Social or deception, like that whole like we want to rent a research facility right next to hers, right?
Yep.
And so
and then make friends with her during the week,
then make friends with her, right?
That sort of, yeah, you could totally do that.
And we have like
that's gonna have some capital attached to it too. We're gonna have to rent the place and have equipment delivered, and
I mean, that's all part of the deception part of things. Sure.
Yeah, I mean that might go to how good or bad we roll.
Yes. And that's also part of like the flashback side of things that
right.
you can do. It's like, hey, we want to do this thing. Let me do a flashback about getting a bunch of equipment for this thing delivered.
Right. Like in Leverage, whatever. It would have been like, instead of renting the place, we know who has the storefront next to hers or the research area next to hers, and you serendipitously like happen to get the guy's key card as he's walking out of the building because you bumped into him with your coffee, right? Like
right. And then with the bumping into a coffee, you buy him a new coffee and put the emetic in there so he's sick for a few days, so you know that you have the place, free and clear for the next couple of days.
Right.
Whereas Jagger, as a neon lime green robot, is utterly convinced that he can be stealthy and use infiltration for this and not be noticed for an entire week following this lady around.
Could be. So this sounds like a lot like planning. We just need to start the engagement, and you guys can retroactively plan.
Agreed. Right. So what are we infiltrating?
Yeah, are you guys infiltrating? Are you using social or deception?
Sounds like we're
what
using
are you
all
doing?
of them, really.
Well, I think we pick one, and then like so if we're infiltrating, we're picking a particular location, and I think if we're doing like deception, we're saying
how you're deceiving.
All we have to do is right.
Would say
the method, so for whichever method we pick, we just say this is the primary way that we're doing it. Other skills will come into play as we decide.
I kind of like the social deception of having a place next to hers.
Yeah, because we're supposed to be kind of stealing her research too, and I'm guessing that's where her research is going to be being done. So it's probably the easiest place to steal it too.
And it set us up the montage of trying to get into her laboratory. We're like, we try to go through the vents, but that doesn't work. And then, you try and like smuggle yourself in through a robot, and that doesn't work. And
Twitch dressed up as a Candygram person.
So social then?
Sounds social to me.
Social.
Okay, so
social, and the point of ingress is her place of work.
So the social.
Well, actually, no. I think it would be deception. And
deception.
Method of deception is you're going to try and pose as researchers, and you're going to and the point of the method of deception is you're posing as researchers, and you're trying to get the initial part of the engagement is attempting to get a research room location that is either next to or very, very close to her research area. Okay. So go ahead and everybody should pick their loadouts while I look up the stuff here for the engagement roll. The engagement roll is 1 die. Major advantage. I'll give you a die for major advantage because you guys looked up who she was and found some of her papers, and did a little extra digging there. And let's see. Does anyone have any friends or contacts that can provide aid or insight for this operation?
Jagger does not.
I have an info broker, but
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I have anything that fits.
Info broker might work for the purposes of like scoping out which businesses are adjacent and like figuring out, which one's on vacation or, giving us a lead on how to, like the lay of the land around her office. So I think info broker might work if
I'll give you a die for
that
info
sounds like
broker.
an info broker.
Who's your info broker?
Aura is
Aura.
my info broker.
Okay. All right. So 3
Seems
dice.
to be a well I go to frequently.
All right. Let's see how you guys do. All right. I have a 5 as the top. So you guys start out in a risky position. Let's see. You have just finished getting, trying to think how to do this. You guys have just finished negotiating and getting using your info broker. You've just finished getting into one of the research areas that is near hers, not as close as you wanted, but the info broker, what your info broker did was let you know that those researchers are off world for now, for at least the next couple of weeks. And you are currently moving in. Basically, you've gotten to it, but you don't have any access cards to get into the actual offices. But you found out that the office is actually going to be vacant.
So among my loadout, I chose a normal loadout. I have hacking tools
Okay.
on me. So so Jagger can attempt to hack the access panel.
Okay.
I can assist him with that. I also have hacking tools and a rank in hack.
Okay.
Actually, if you have a rank in hack, it might be best if you do it, because Jagger, although he has the tools, does not have a rank in hack.
Looks at the tools, puts them in his fist, smashes the wall. I don't understand why it's not
alarms
working.
everywhere.
All right. So
So Jagger will assist in that.
all right. So you have 1 die per dot. What does the hacking tools give you? Does it say? Probably just allows you to actually do it.
Dex,
think so.
splicing play. It just lists out the stuff that whatever it says what every growing hacker needs. So it's basically
Okay.
just like a toolkit of stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It is
Right.
a MacGuffin that opens doors.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I guess not actually a MacGuffin in that context, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. So, and just a reminder for your loadouts, the heavier your loadout, the more obvious it is you're like going loaded for bear and are not supposed to be wherever you are unless it's a war zone. And then you don't have to pick the things that are on your loadout yet. You
pick them as you need
You
them.
pick them as you need them.
Yeah.
So you don't have
So,
to figure out.
I'm
what's
assuming
what.
that I'm going to take a stress because I'm assisting Ordwell.
Yep. So
Okay.
Assisting is 1 stress to give another die. Ordwell, how many dice do you have initially? Just the 1?
1.
Okay.
1.
So you have 1. You have an assist. You can push yourself or take a devil's bargain.
Do the
I'm gonna-
hacking tools themselves, the fact that you have the hacking tools, give you another die?
I'm going to say that that will. I'm going to say that will take it. Normally, you're at the risky. I will take it down to a controlled.
Got it. That works.
Or give a greater effect. It'll either be risky with standard effect or risky with greater effect. Oh, we lost Chris.
He's just camera off.
Okay. Now I'm Ken.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm sorry.
And
I don't know the right way to blow your nose while you're on Twitch.
I totally understand. You
all
can.
right.
I mean, we can switch places on the screen for a little while if you
Oh
need to blow your
God,
nose.
so sorry.
It's
I'll
okay.
go-
We'll figure it
I'll go
out.
Deal
We'll
with
figure it
things.
out.
So greater effect might be, and now you can come and go as you please.
Right.
Or like, you've unlocked all the doors because now you have like the golden key that lets you in and out of everything, right?
Yeah, we'll say that that's what if you take the greater effect, we'll say that that'll be the outcome is you'll be able to basically come and go as you the crew can come and go as you please.
Okay.
So I think Ordwell is always going to take the riskier option. So
Okay.
And he's gonna-
I will
mission
offer the
focus
devil's
is
bargain that it'll give you an extra die, but you'll get +2 heat from this job because the security cameras will have picked you guys up, and the researchers, when they come back, will have realized that people have been living in their place.
I will love that.
Take it.
I can take it that on top of my push stress, right?
No, it's either push or devil's
Either
bargain.
or.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll take the devil's bargain then because that sounds fantastic.
Okay.
Then you don't with stress.
And then you can spend a gambit if you want.
So we're at 3.
Right now
dice.
you're
One
at
for me.
3. Yes.
I think we spend the gambit because we don't want to be conservative here. This is
I
a
agree.
big setup, right? So
Yeah.
we'll spend the gambit.
So 4
4
dice.
dice. All right, here we go. My highest is a 4.
Oh.
Ooh, ouch.
All right.
Damn.
You did
Still
it, but there's a
successful.
consequence. Suffer harm, complication occurs, reduced effect, or you end up in a desperate position. I'm gonna start a clock. It's gonna be a 6-segment clock. But I'm gonna click 2 of it right now.
Oh.
And say your cover is blown is what I'm going to call it. So during this week, this clock might tick up, but something you've done with the lock and breaking in, or how you entered into this area has started to alert some of the security at the research facility that something's not quite right. There's nothing happening yet, but if that clock fills, then your cover is blown and people will know that you are not supposed to be here.
So with that roll, then do we still get the greater effect, or would I have to have rolled?
Yeah, you still get the greater effect. You succeeded, but there's a complication. So
Right.
yeah,
Right,
your crew is able to come and go as you please. You guys could, for all intents and purposes, sleep in these offices if you wanted to, just by the nature of what they do at these offices, and researchers work at all hours. But there won't be any further consequence for just the normal comings and goings. But if there are things that suspicious things happen, that clock can tick forward.
What are the chances of that?
Right.
Twitch in his Candygram outfit still. What?
Lime green robot.
We're fine.
It's part of your research,
All
right?
good.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
All right. So you guys are in. What's your next step?
We loot the place, obviously. Side quest.
So what?
You could.
We don't have a face.
Is there a camera system anywhere in this building that we can hack into to find out when
all
she...
over. Yeah. You totally can.
Okay.
You totally can.
Can any one of you get an idea of when she normally shows up, when she leaves? Who works in her facility? Those would all be good ideas.
Oh, I could totally do that. I'm really good at studying people and watching people and people watching and
Or
yeah.
does she order takeout from on a regular basis?
Oh, I'm on it. I will follow her to the ends of the earth. Hey, by the way, what do you think's going on between our contact and this girl, huh? Huh?
I
What do
think
you-
he's trying to steal her research and get away with it.
Yep.
But that's not my problem.
So I don't know. Can I use study to study a person and their habits?
I would say you can, but it's not going to be through the camera network of the research facility. You would still have to like do something to get into the camera network. If you wanted to hang out in the lobby and stuff, study would totally do that. Yes.
Yeah, so I could find out like her habits of when she's coming and going that way, and what kind of camera or what kind of coffee she likes, and all that other fun stuff.
Yes. It would be much easier if you could do that from the safety behind a camera lens, but you could totally do it from the lobby sort of thing and just hang out in the lobby a lot.
I mean,
And we could.
I could hack
Go
the
ahead.
cameras then.
I want to get a general idea so that we know when to like try and meet up with her and watch her, because we have to watch her not just here, but presumably when she leaves here, especially if she leaves here a whole lot.
Yes, I'm imagining like our initial setup is we get our surveillance in place, watching for her to come because we know that she comes to work every day, and then once we see her there, then we'll have an opportunity to set up our ongoing surveillance. I do have my Urbot who, he's used to just recording my spectacular daredevil moves, but I suppose he could be retasked for some light surveillance.
That's also
Awesome.
definitely possible. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I
Just
also
having him
have
floating out in the hall, and then once she actually shows up,
I also have a little spider drone, which is he's pretty smart.
I think we need to pick one thing.
Yes, I agree.
We're doing the thing again.
we are doing the thing again. I think you surveil in the lobby, waiting for her to come and go, and then maybe the other thing we could be doing while we're doing that is assessing how to break into her office.
Is there an air duct I can shimmy through to go and break into her office?
Perhaps.
Jagger was built to shimmy through air ducts. I mean, that's what he used to do in a previous life.
So we could do the like lobby surveillance, right? Like you're sitting there with your coffee, reading your paper, because of course there's going to be papers in this future. And
Of
then
course.
meanwhile, we could do a flashback to get like the layout for the building.
Sure. Why
Or,
don't
like,
we
talk with a maintenance company or something?
Why don't we do the flashback first, if that's
Okay.
what you want to do? Flashback. Who's getting the stuff? Basically, who's taking the stress for the flashback?
I totally can. That's fine.
It's
Get the analysis on the entire apartment building and everything, or not the apartment building, the research center.
yeah. I'd like how would you? So you have to describe in the flashback how you're getting this information.
Let's see. I know Len, who is a black market dealer. I don't know if he would necessarily. I guess I could probably buy some plans or something like that for a research center off of them.
Seems reasonable.
It's my
Illicit goods.
my colorful
Add to the
friend.
heat.
This guy gives me all the good stuff.
Yeah, I would say this is a one stress flashback.
Okay.
And then you're going to use your black market contact to kind of get that info.
I'll use. Hey, Lenny, I got some. I need something from you. Well, I need a couple things if you got it.
Okay.
We're gonna be going into this research facility. If you could give me some blueprints or some camera layouts and different like things like that. I mean, heck, if you could get me some access to those cameras too, that would be fantastic. But, yeah.
I mean, like I
I
don't
mean,
normally
layouts-
I don't know. I mean, you want an info broker if you want like real access to a lot of stuff like that. But I can get it. I can get it. Yeah. You you guys settle upon a price. And some time will pass. But I need you to figure out. It's going to definitely be a roll to figure out, like, if he has this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, let me make a fortune roll to see if he even has the stuff if he has the ability to get it in the first place.
Basically, me going to my drug dealer to get get blueprints for.
Yeah, he managed. So you have a feeling that he knows somebody who owes him a favor that can get him these plants. But normally I'm not supposed to call for a particular role, but I would say that a role is going to be needed.
Okay.
But so the question is, like, I would say with you talking to this person, it's going to be something like a sway or consort. I would think.
Yeah. Okay. I have no points in either one of those, so this is gonna go fantastically great.
Maybe send a different crew member next time.
Let's be honest. Twitch just actually went here to go get some drugs for himself.
Hey, well, that's struggling with your vice. So the question could be, do you resist the temptation? Like, you're already there.
Yep.
And this guy is like, and so do you give in to that temptation or not? Because that's an XP. Just
I
hanging
know.
out right there, man.
Yep.
It's like, this is normally who I go to for that stuff, and nope. I'm here for the mission. I can
Right.
we can do this later.
So Len, yeah. So right now, if are you going to use consorts? The consort sounds good, but sway would also work.
Either one.
Either one. I mean, they're both at 0.
I was gonna say they're both at
So
0.
right now it's roll 2 dice and take the lower. You can, push yourself to get an extra die, or we can do a devil's bargain. And he's basically offering, the devil's bargain would be he's offering up some extra, like he just got a new shipment of stuff in and is offering up for you to have a taste, sort of thing. It's like he wants to know how good it is, and you're a pretty good reference for that.
Brilliant.
So let's see.
guess what
Devil's
would be
bargain. I'm trying to figure out what would.
Cause it's so new stuff too.
Well, he got a new shipment of stuff. So
Okay.
whether or not it's new to you, that's a whole other thing. But this is definitely one of those things where, like, he wants to know how the quality is.
Oh, well, that's all.
Trying to see Devil's bargain.
It's just a quick taste, guys. It's no biggie.
Devil's bargain is like, and you are subject to random flashbacks throughout the rest of the adventure as you continue to trip.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. There we go. You know what? Devil's bargain is you're going to come back after having tasted it, and it's going to tick another 2 boxes on the cover is blown.
Oh no! Oh, but I want to so bad.
I mean, if you take it, you definitely are going to get XP for succumbing to your vice in the middle of, you struggled with your issues of vice or traumas during the session.
But it's
Got it, man.
Screw it. I'll do it. I'll
Okay.
taste it.
All right. So
I
we're
have
now
to.
a 4 of 6 for that. So you have 1 die.
Yes, I have 1 die. Now it's not at disadvantage now.
So I would say risky with standard effect. So go ahead and make your roll.
Oh yeah, here we go. It's a 1.
All right.
Totally worth it, guys.
All right. So things go badly. You
Can't wait for you to use
don't-
those plans there, Aaron.
you don't get the plans. You come back, and obviously we've already had the devil's bargain that ticked it forward more. I'm gonna say you suffer a level 1 harm of still tripping.
All right. Still tripping. All right, there we go.
So you the drugs worked, but they worked a little too good, and so that is the harm on this case.
I haven't read up on the flashbacks. Is the intent that we got the plans, but that like any bad stuff happened, or is it like
You can
now we have
totally
to have
fail in the flashback.
Okay,
So, which unfortunately is
Yes.
what just happened.
right?
You sent-
right. Gotcha.
You sent the mechanic out to his black market dealer to get the plans for this Skyrise research facility, and he came back tripping.
And so as a result, we're sitting there going, "I see an air vent."
You know what I think?
Got my screwdriver.
Really, yeah. So let me narrate this a little bit differently. What I think happened is you're like, yeah, Len is like, yeah, totally get you that stuff, but you got to try this new shipment with me. And then you guys end up spending hours just tripping, and eventually you stumble out of his place and stumble back, and people are like, so did you get the stuff?
I got something. What was I supposed to go there for again?
Right.
He had
Good job.
He had yeah,
Very effective.
Very. Oh, it's very effective.
I believe Twitch is tripping ball bearings.
All right, so this is the last time we let Twitch go on his own, right? Agreed?
Clearly,
So we all give him dirty looks and start looking up to an air vent and start unscrewing it.
Sure, no problem. So your intent is to get into the other research facility location. You've got a mini like Urbot. You've got a spider drone, and you've got Jagger, who's got a history in crawling through air vents.
Okay.
I
So-
do have a Pip and Skulk, but if anyone is better in Skulk, then they're certainly welcome to give this a shot.
I'm equivalent in Skulk.
So I'm loud in terms of visually, but can be very quiet in terms of sound. So we don't have the layout to the office. So I'm just going to have to go in there and we know which is her.
Right.
And we're on the same floor, right?
Right.
Or are we not? We are.
Yes.
We're just not neighbors.
You're just not neighbors.
Not quite adjacent. Okay.
Yeah, there's a fair number of ducting between you and her research facility areas.
So I've got repair tools, which should make transiting in and out easier.
Okay.
And I've got a die in skulk, or a pointed skulk.
Okay.
Let me just look at the rest of my equipment.
I'll give you like a greater effect for the repair tools.
Alrighty. And does the fact that is the goal here infiltrate and install the Urbot, right? Or get the Urbot into her lab?
Yeah, I think
That would
so.
be one
You could do
plan.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So the
I mean,
Urbot
ultimately,
can so the Urbot can
Yeah, go
move
ahead.
around and surveil the lab from the inside while hidden.
All right.
Right, because we need to surveil her and like kind of track her movements in the town, like back and forth to work. But we also need to figure out where her research is and what have you. So I think that achieves both goals.
I was working on a plan for that.
Oh, cool.
It's
All
not.
right, well, I've got a whole die right now.
You could push yourself or Devil's Bargain.
Oh no, I'm taking the Devil's Bargain. I don't care what it is.
Well, you did. I mean,
Lollipop.
unless you guys can think of a different Devil's Bargain, you did say that you could be quite loud in the vents.
Visually.
No, I'm visually loud because
Visually
I'm
loud.
lime green, but I am a
Right,
skulker. I am very quiet.
Okay. Like I'm tempted to give you another tick or two on the like on the thing, but if you got 2, your cover would definitely be blown.
The building's vermin sensors pick me up in the vents. Something along those lines, and they dispatch an extermination team to
I mean,
take care of whatever animal is running around in the vents.
since Aaron's character also has skulk, she might be able to assist you in terms of like either going behind and like, oh, look out there, watch out for that.
We could do that.
Bang on that; it's going to make too much noise.
Yeah, she could totally assist, which would give an extra die. So you got 1 die for skulk, 1 die for assist. If Aaron, if you're willing to spend a stress to do that,
Sure.
for karma, helping him,
whatever your Devil's Bargain is.
yeah,
I'm totally
viewing through the
criticizing
Urbot
entire
camera. Yeah, viewing through the cameras that you guys are have like on the Urbot or whatever. I see that Jagger could have spy gear.
Yes, that is absolute. I just didn't know whether that would give an additional advantage. So yes, I absolutely have spy gear. So I will go ahead and mark that off if it's.
Yeah, I would say that like you could.
Okay.
Here's what I'm seeing is you can go and correct me if this is too much, but you're going through the vents when you know she's not there and getting into her research facility, setting up the spy gear, letting the Urbot loose, and then coming back.
Right. So with the spy gear, even if we have to, ditch the Urbot for some reason, we still have kind of a backup.
Yeah, you've got like
monitoring in place,
little button cameras,
and button
bugs
cameras
and
whatever
other stuff.
That
Maybe a tap on her computer that you could use hacking to get into the computer.
I like it. And,
that sort of stuff.
The whole time I'm in the vents, Karma is watching me on a remote monitor, telling me how poorly I'm doing.
Right. Right.
Okay.
I want something different for a Devil's Bargain, because if I give you 2 ticks, your cover will be blown, which makes everything much harder. And it's only like day 2,
So I mean, there's other complications that could come back later.
I mean, you guys could get an extra 2 heat, because the if you want that.
Is
Why
there
don't we
any
take a break and you think about it for a minute?
Is there anybody else that may be coming after this research? Maybe we were so loud that if somebody else was coming after the research too, maybe we've alerted them that we're also here, so
You know,
they might try to make their move too.
Maybe
I'm gonna make a new clock. I like that idea, Josh. I'm not going to tell you what the clock is called yet, but it's going to be a 6-segment clock of which you're going to tick two
All right.
things,
for it.
and a complication is going to arrive at that point.
By the way,
Okay.
Twitch is totally just standing next to the professor right now as they're doing this, just going, it's really weird. Gravity.
So I've got 3 dice, right? Is that
So you have your skill dice, which I think is just
Skulk.
1.
right?
You have assist, and you have a devil's bargain. Yes, so you
Okay.
have 3.
I'm taking it. All right. Cool. Making this roll.
And right now you guys have 2 gambit left.
I got a 5.
You got a 5.
I got
Okay.
a 5.
So you do it, but there's a consequence. Suffer harm, a complication occurs, you have a reduced effect, or you end up in a desperate position.
Okay.
So you make it through and are planting the bugs and other things like that. You hear through your comms that, let's see, Karma, you helping Jagger see that Cambry is arriving.
When we say arriving, are we meaning at the building entrance or at the lab entrance?
At the floor. You've got a very short amount of time before she opens her own door.
All right.
So, Aaron, I don't know if you caught when I said Karma, but you see that Cambry is going to be opening the door to the room that the lime green mechanical Jagger is currently in her research space.
Ah, okay.
Karma, I am completely decked out in my doctor gear. I took all my doctor gear, so I'm set up for normal. I can easily walk out, go bump into her, and delay her, and just be a nerd.
I think that's exactly what you should do.
All right. And so that's what I'm going to grab a bundle of. Well, they probably don't use bundles of paper anymore, but I mean, if they do,
You grab a bundle of memory sticks or something,
memory sticks,
whatever,
and an old cup of coffee or something, and
like 4 tablets.
right, walk out with my head down, with the jacket on, and the whole thing, and just when I see her, just bump right into her. Coffee up in the air, tablets go everywhere. And I am so sorry. I wasn't watching what I was doing, and I'm reading the paper, and can I clean that off? Can we, just the whole.
She is totally flustered, not expecting it. No, it's okay. It's okay. I didn't see you either. It's like, I haven't seen you around here before.
Just joined this project. I barely know where the restrooms are in this place. I am so sorry.
I think this is going to be a sway roll.
Good, because I have sway.
That's my thought. Like, you're going to have to convince her that you accidentally bumped into her.
Well, yeah, I'm not going for consort because that would make it creepy.
Yeah.
But sway, I will do sway.
Okay.
And
so
I will push myself with the stresses.
Okay. So that's 2 stress.
That's 3. Yeah, so that's 3 dice.
Yep.
All right, here we go. 4.
4. Okay. You do it, but there's a consequence. So yeah, she's She is. She believes you. She's. Here, let me help you with pick those up. Because you've got tablets all over the place, etc. She glances at some of the tablets, in their contents. And you're working with the group down the hall, and mentions like some like figuring out the ideal gas constant of argon or something along those lines, and its efficacy in Urbots. But I will say, so it's a harm, complication of terms, reduce effect, desperate position. You're not in a position like that. I would say,
I could burn myself on the coffee.
That was my initial thought.
What harm?
Let's do that. Let's say you had overly hot coffee, and you're burned your arm with coffee, coffee burned arm or something like that.
All right.
As your one harm.
All right, I have it written down, and I can treat myself for that, so I feel okay about physical damage.
Okay. And that gives Jagger just enough time to squeeze back into the vent and get the vent cover back on as the door to her research facility opens up. And so Jagger gets back into your research command center.
Yep.
And
got the lidocaine out.
Turn all the stuff on.
Taking care of the burn.
Yep. It helps a little, helps take the pain away, but the burn's not gone.
No, of course.
This is McDougal's coffee, where it was extra heated.
So we're talking, I've got a 2nd to 3rd degree burn on my arm. Okay,
right.
That's fine. That's fine. All right, so we'll be favoring that for the rest of the adventure. Yes.
I don't think you can cure harm during the adventure. So
No. That's fine.
So your cameras, your feeds inside of her research facility, you see her, going around and starting her day, and working on stuff. And we can go into kind of a montage of you watch her, for hours on end. She's basically pouring through data feeds and such, and recording results on one of her tablets. And any of you who enjoy excitement, this is the opposite of it.
I'm sitting in my chair, making circles in it.
How good's the resolution on these? How good's the resolution on these cameras? Can we see what she's actually writing and doing? Because I'm down for that. I want to know what she's working on.
Well, it's Jagger's spy gear.
Which is just
you could probably if you're that deep into it, I'm having a real hard time going. So this is where I think, as players, you like Chris, you would say, "Can I do a study roll to figure out?"
Fair. Let me do that. Can I take a study roll to better understand her research?
I would. Yes, I would say yes. You could get even better if someone, since the spy gear was set up, you could then use like hack or rig or something along those lines to get into her actual computer. But right now you're just reading the screen through the camera.
Ooh, I can rig it. I've got 2 in rig.
Yeah. Now rigging leaves evidence, sort of thing. So just to let you know, more than hacking.
And I am still tripping.
Rigging is more of a
This
Sorry.
is not super integral to the party. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how good she is at even, did we notice how much security she went through? Would she even notice?
She like the research facility that she's in right now seems pretty standard, like similar to yours in terms of layout. The equipment's a little different. There's a lot more data feed access in hers than there is in the one you're in. But like, it looks like the door locks are the standard door locks that come with this building. There's no augmented things like that. There wasn't anything that, she didn't set up her own camera system inside of her research area that Jagger saw.
So regarding my study roll, I got a 6 and a 5.
Okay. And did you, you didn't push yourself or anything else like that?
No,
Okay.
it wasn't worth all that.
Okay. Then let's see. So you did a 6, which is you do it. I was going to say it was risky with standard effect. You do it. Since you did get a 6, not only did you succeed, but you guys can add a gambit back.
Oh, cool.
Add an extra gambit. Yeah, when you get a 6 and did not spend a gambit, you get a gambit back. And if you get a critical, which is 2 6s, you can also get a gambit back.
It's you add a gambit to your crew when you roll a 6 or critical on a risky action. Was the study a risky action?
No, I think you're right. It wasn't really risky. I would say it would be controlled. So you just do it. I
don't want to make
That's a
things
good
too
point.
easy for us.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, what do you do? Don't you want to win? Don't you want to win? Scum and
I
Villainy
want
first?
to win, but I want it to be a struggle
Why? This is why story mode is a thing.
because I want to watch you suffer a
Oh,
little bit.
Wow.
You do. So I'd say risky or controlled with standard effect.
It's fine.
Was
Controlled is great.
you are looking through and it looks like the things that she's researching today that you are looking through are it's has to deal with what's the name of that? It's the she's researching a planet in the Iota system, which is the next system over. And looks to be researching ancient ruins that have been found in in Iota.
Cool. All right, awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah, I will mention that to everybody and mark it down in my journal for a possible interesting side trip in the future.
What does that have to do with biology? Huh.
Wardwell just kind of like swirls around in his chair, looks over at Karma, like, we could race these. I'm just saying, there's a big empty hallway out there.
Several chair races later.
Oh, I can help you guys out. I can rig something together on your chairs, make them go faster.
And this is how we get discovered. Discovered.
Murdo's like,
This is it.
are you kidding? Because if you're not kidding, don't kid me. Come on. If you're serious. Let's do this thing. Come on.
All right. Whip out the
That'll
tools.
be the week-long montage project. Start a new clock, building racing chairs.
Totally, that can totally happen in the background where you're like taking apart some of the research equipment here in this thing and using those servos and other things like that to make chairs that are mechanized, and you can race them around this thing because you guys, right now,
Totally important.
for you guys, this might be boring. this portion of the mission.
Yeah.
They totally pay off in the end.
maybe one of you could figure out how to hack and steal the research, because I'm a doctor, not a hacker.
Damn it, Jim.
Shame.
Yeah. So,
What kind of bag does she have, by the way?
what kind of what?
Bag carrying devices.
She has just kind of like a leatherette kind of handheld, not quite a briefcase, more of like a soft-sided sort of briefcase sort of thing. Carries a couple of her tablets in it.
Not particularly unusual, then?
No.
Good. I need to go buy one like that.
You need to go buy one like that. Okay.
Ah.
Which
I would
indulges my sightseeing and shopping. Right. So, see you guys. I gotta go pick up some things.
Okay. Let's say that's a level you've learned this about her, and let's say it's a zero stress flashback.
Okay.
But let's see. You are if you're struggling with your vice, how, like, what sort of things could happen while you're out shopping?
We could spend all our money.
I get distracted by sightseeing things that delay me. I go on tours that I probably shouldn't go on.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like what sort of complications that might. You know what? Okay, I got the complication. Never mind. All right. That secret clock ticks up by 1, but yes, you have the bag and several more when you come back.
And
Okay.
more.
So,
By the way, if you were going
in, has my new disguise.
We lost Ken.
We sure did.
Oh, what kind of disguise are you looking for? Like, what are you doing?
I'm kind of a nerdy investigator sort of disguise. A woman that looks judgmental and imposing, a little nerve-wracking.
Okay. And what's your goal?
I am going to be portraying an investigator who is not there to investigate her, but I am going to be having a mishap where I am going to switch my belongings with her belongings by making her nervous just by my presence.
Okay. And how are you going to like approach her to do this?
Oh, I'm going to totally run into her and make her drop things and make myself drop things so that we will exchange bags.
Poor lady's just getting.
But are you talking with her as a investigator person?
Yes.
Or
yes, I'll have to exchange some words with her, of course.
Okay. And where are you going to do this?
Preferably on the street.
Okay. So remember, this is in Skyrise. So like there's some areas outside. So like, Aaron, if you remember the mall that we stopped at when the Macy's thing where it was all white on the interior, had all the Christmas stuff set up and the candle places. So there's places like that people could go out to lunch or go shopping, etc. That you could meet her at a place like that, or you could bump into her at her building with her apartment.
Right. Okay.
So where would you like to bump
her
into
building
her?
with her apartment? We're making sure that compliances are all up to date and checking for new rents. Maybe rents need to be updated. Something that will make her nervous.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so you find her apartment building and the lobby of her stuff, and you see her coming in after a day of work.
Okay. And I've got glasses on, and my hair is all pulled up to sort of a ridiculously tight fashion. And I've got a gray, suit sort of thing on.
Okay.
And as she's coming in, I'm holding my things and I'm not looking where I'm going, and I'm going to specifically run into her and force her to drop her things as I force myself to drop my things too.
Okay.
If you need me to make an attack roll to make that happen, I will make an attack roll.
I'm thinking about how it's working. It's not really an attack roll. Like you as a player call for a roll. I don't normally call for a roll. So
okay.
But I'm thinking that this would be kind of a desperate situation because she's already been run into accidentally once this week, and she's holding on to with her hand the briefcase. And the likelihood of her dropping the briefcase accidentally, if it was under her arm or something like that, then yeah. But if she's holding on to it as she's coming home, that's different.
Okay.
Like a suggestion that I would have would be like get into a conversation with her and maybe have her put it down and do kind of one of those, you put yours down and then accidentally pick hers up and she picks yours up and you walk away. That sort of situation I could see.
How many floors do we have to? Yeah, I'll ride up the elevator with her and I will put mine and hopefully she mirrors my body language.
Okay. Are you going to talk with her on the elevator?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll tell her that the building's under inspection and there was some worry about some joints that were inappropriate. Has she experienced anything?
No, I mean, I've only been here for like a month or so, but it's not, everything seems fine.
Oh, well, I'm here to inspect everything and make sure everything's in tip-top shape. We've heard some other tenants complaining, and I was just wondering what your experiences were.
Yeah, I haven't had any unusual experiences at all.
Oh, no creaking, no cracks in your walls.
No. I mean, it's been a fine place.
So pull out my pad and just try to start asking her questions if she doesn't mind waiting a few, taking a little bit of answering some questions here so that I can get appropriate resident surveys and responses.
Of course. I would say this is, like I said, I'm not supposed to, but this sounds like a sway roll to me.
Okay. I've got that.
You should totally hand her the pad, just without even asking her to look at it, or just hand it to her to kind of see if she'll reflexively take it and set her briefcase down or whatever.
That's what I was going to suggest as well. Of like
having made a checklist
already. Like you guys are experienced criminals in some ways, and so handing her the pad and say, "Hey, could you sign this to say that I've actually done this?" requires her to have two hands or something like that, which forces her to put it down. But we'll see how that goes. I would say this is a risky with standard effect. So you've got 2 dice for sway.
Okay.
How much? You've got the ability to pull more dice in. So
I have 2 dice for sway.
That's what I'm saying. You have 2 dice for sway.
Okay.
Do you?
So this is risky. Does that doesn't mean that?
This is
right?
No. So this risky means you're taking a chance, and some sort of complication can occur, or you can lose the opportunity if you roll badly enough. Like you pick up what you thought was hers, but it's actually your briefcase, and you both leave with the same briefcase as you entered with.
Could I assist her knowing some of the mechanical stuff I could make like the survey for her that has like all kinds of different like mechanical questions about the building that would take her some time to answer.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to set that up, and as part of the con, you can have that. You can totally have that. If you so it'd be so you can assist her. That's one stress for you, which means you'll get an extra die, Aaron, for
Okay.
your roll. So that brings you up to 3, and then there's 2 other dice on the table that you could take. So you can either push yourself or accept a devil's bargain, or you can spend one of the ship gambits for.
Because we're back up to 3 ship gambits, right? Because we were down to
No,
Two?
because it
No,
wasn't
it's
worth-
still down
yeah.
to 2 because it was a controlled effort to read the pads on the cameras.
Oh, right. Got you. I
I
would say
will
spend the
push
gambit. We're like
myself.
halfway through.
Oh, okay.
But no, you could do that too. I'm just saying, like, we're kind of like thinking about the
Yeah.
pacing. Like, we're kind of halfway through maybe, and
Yeah.
we
So
get them all back next time. So
so 2 dice for your skill, 1 dice for the assist. If you're going to spend a gambit, that would be another die. And if you really wanted to go whole hog, you could push yourself or get a devil's bargain for 5 dice.
I think 4 dice is good.
4 dice. So what are you doing to get the 4th die? Gambit
Oh, I
or
thought it was
pushing yourself? Gambit. Okay.
So we've got 1 left.
One
One
possible
gambit.
one left. If you take 2 stress, you can get an extra die, or accept a devil's bargain and get an extra die.
No, I think we've been risking a lot lately. So.
Okay. Well, you can
Time
also
for-
just take 2 stress and get an extra die if you wanted that. That would get you 5 total dice.
Okay, I'll take the 2 stress.
Stress is fun.
Alrighty, let's see what I get here. 5, 4. Do I tell you the total or just the
You
number?
tell me the highest dice.
5.
And if you get 2 6s, that's another thing. All right, so you got a 5. You do it, but there's a consequence. Complication occurs, reduced effect. I'm gonna say a complication occurred, and we got some more ticks on that secret clock. But you talk with her. She gets the tablet. Fills out the form and the survey. Says, if I have any of these things, I'll contact you at your contact info, and
Okay.
And picks up your briefcase that you've
Okay.
pre-prepped and exits. You maneuver it so that you've picked up hers and she picks up yours, and she exits the elevator, and you continue going up. As a side effect, you know what floor she's on, and the general. Actually, she filled out her information, so you know. I'll give you the bonus of what apartment she's in.
Okay. That was
So-
successful.
Yep. So, she's got several of her tablets and such in the briefcase.
I take those back
Mhm.
and I put them in front of Twitch and whomever. Which one of you guys want to break into these? Don't everybody speak at once.
I'm not the hacker. I have the tools, but I don't have the skill.
All right, let's get to work, people.
Yeah, you can either. I mean, this one, since you have the physical device, you can rig past the security, or you can hack past the security to unlock it. Tablets aren't. This would be pretty controlled, I would say, if you guys are going to do it, because it's a controlled environment. But
And did you have something?
you're muted.
Oh,
Ken.
you're
You're
muted.
muted, Ken.
yeah, muted. I was gonna say, what do you have in rig and hack?
I've got 2 in rig, 1 in hack.
Okay, I've got 1 in hack and 1 in rig, so I would be able to assist you either way.
Okay.
Cue the montage of us like slowly disassembling it, like
Daft Punk playing in the background, and
Yes.
We're pulling more components and stuff out of the research place that we're actually staying in.
All right,
It's
so
possible I'd like to rig my way past this.
So I do have a quick question because my
Yeah.
internet died for a minute, and
Yep.
so I didn't get the what happened. Did we take this briefcase in the hopes of being able to switch it back later, or did we just take it so we could do what we're going to do? Like, do we care about the integrity of?
no one has said anything about returning the briefcase. The likelihood that she will not have noticed is pretty slim.
Because
As
Karma
well.
can totally do the whole like, oh, you know what?
That would
I'm
be
so
right.
sorry. I picked up your briefcase.
You
by
totally,
accident.
you totally could do that and return them back.
In which case, we shouldn't dismantle the tablets.
Right.
So maybe that points to hack instead of rig.
Yes. So that's the question that you have to answer right now. Which, why don't we take a 5-minute break since it's we're a little ways in, and we'll be back in a little bit, and you guys can tell us if you're rigging or hacking into her tablets to find out that information.
Perfect.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Yeah, so we were going to hack into some tablets or rig. I mean, the question is do you want to return the tablets and have it be a quote-unquote innocent mistake or not?
Probably innocent mistake, right? We could just copy everything that's on here and
I like innocent mistake. It maybe keeps some of the heat off of us, unless we do it badly, in which case we get more heat. But either way,
I like that too.
All right, so that would, so you're getting into the tablets, and you're telling me that's a rig, that's a hacking roll is what you're looking for.
I'm gonna hack it.
Yep.
All right.
Unless you want to hack it.
So how many dice do you have?
We both have one. So if you
One.
wanted to hack it, give yourself something to do, some kind of excitement.
I would say I
You just don't wanna roll dice.
I will say that that there will be less effect on the hacking if your mechanic does it because he's still tripping.
Yeah. I also don't want Twitch rolling dice.
we've seen what happens when Twitch rolls dice.
Yeah.
I have fingers, and they do things. Look, they all move on their own.
Yes, Twitch. Yes, they do.
And I have 14
Why don't you just feed me
fingers.
Each one
Surely
of
the professor could give him something to take the edge off.
I mean,
Oh, I think he took the edge off.
I could
Or maybe put it back on. I don't
I
know.
could put the edge on. I mean, I don't know what he took, so I'd be guessing.
Yeah. That'd be interesting.
That would be more fun. Might be interesting to watch.
More drugs, really?
All right. So
Like
base
the old
one.
potion mismatch tables in D&D, right?
Yeah.
I can assist him though.
Or the old first edition ones where if you drink or mix two potions together and the
That's
effects
what I
are
was
still
thinking.
going. Yeah.
He can see through walls now. No, he can't.
Yeah.
All right, so I get one die for my hack,
Skill.
one die for the assist,
Yep.
Which I'll
and
take
then
as well.
I can push for another.
Yep.
I think that's probably good enough because we
still
only have
have-
one gambit left.
You still have two gambit, don't you?
No, we just
Or
have
did-
the one.
Or Aaron used the one. Okay. Yeah.
Aaron
used
used
the
it.
one.
We got one.
So I think we
All
want
right.
to keep that last gambit just in case.
Yeah.
So 3 dice.
I'm going with 3 dice.
All right. I would say it's risky because you don't want to leave a trace.
Okay, I'll take it.
Risky
Way I
standard
live.
effect.
I
All
wouldn't
right.
have it any other way.
Let's roll all sixes.
6.
You
No,
did roll
I rolled
6?
a 2, a 3, and a 6.
And a 6.
Nice.
Excellent. All right. So you guys do get a gambit back. And you're able to hack in and copy the contents of the tablets over. It confirms what professor, what the doc was reading over the lens is it's research on ancient temples that are hidden deep. It's ruined temples on Amaranth, which is in the Iota system, and it looks to be there's different things in there that appear to be some sort of and I'm telling you this because the professor said he was interested in it, so I'm imagining he's looking through this stuff. Am I correct there, Chris? That you're going to look through it? All right.
Oh yeah.
It looks like it's there. You've got actually some maps and diagrams, and there's something that she's researching that appears to be leading to like a hidden cache of something underneath, buried deep beneath one of these ruined ancient temples. And appears to be, her notes are like, this is, too early. This is not the right era. And is kind of methodically going through her research and trying to narrow down like maybe possible dig sites or something. She's definitely, from what you're looking at, she's definitely looking for something.
Okay.
Are we able to copy all the data?
Yes. Yeah, you copied the tablets.
Does that satisfy the steal her research? Or do we still need to get it? Do we feel like we've gotten enough?
It appears to. I would say you're like maybe halfway through the week. You've watched her. She, it's pretty easy to tell that she uses an air car to go back and forth from her place, from her apartment to this research facility, and she flies her own air car over. And with the spy gear that you installed in her research area, she appears to copy everything to her tablets at the end of the day. Like everything is synced to her tablets by the time she leaves.
And we've been giving updates to Roy on a daily basis as he requested, I assume.
Have you? Let me ask you that. Have you?
I hate to be the responsible adult here, but apparently that is something we said we would do.
Yep.
So, do we need to do a flashback to day one's report to see if we got any additional requirements from Roy?
No, there was no additional requirements, so we won't do a flashback, but we can say that yes, you've been giving updates.
All right.
Is there a I guess
he seems a little he seems a little frustrated that there's nothing like what several of you have considered like a boring routine. He seems to be frustrated that it's a boring routine. He was hoping for something else. I have also said that you haven't told him the nature of any of the research you have found that she is doing yet. So
we're also
not sure that he wants to, right? Know. Yeah, we're not supposed to know.
Right.
He didn't want to tell us, so we're not going to tell him that we know.
I guess as part of the hack that when we ran the hack on her tablet or whatever,
right?
Could we have, I guess, put in a program to like copy and send us any new data as she puts it in?
I will say that since since Ordwell got a 6 on it, we'll say we can have it sync to a location that you guys can pick up that data later.
Okay, cool. because then we can get the last half of the week later on.
So how do we steal the data without letting Roy in such a manner that it looks to Roy like maybe we haven't looked at it?
I mean, we're basically just going to throw a pile of data at him and be
Okay.
like, here you go.
He didn't say.
On our honor.
I don't think he specifically said don't look at it.
No,
But-
he just didn't want. He just didn't want to tell us what
Yeah.
they're working on.
Okay.
Yeah. He didn't want to. He didn't want to tell us what he was looking for. But if he's finding most of this stuff boring, this probably isn't what he was looking for either.
Right.
Your
Or
Stitch
he's
would
trying-
like a copy of the research when we're done.
So we have another half of the week to basically watch her and follow her.
Well,
Sure.
she's
we-
probably going to flip out when she realizes she doesn't have her tablets.
Yep.
Do we
Yeah.
care?
So
So that's why I
somebody's
think
gotta
we were
go
planning
back.
on returning them to her with the old.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Good thing I got your address though.
Yeah. In fact, speaking of that, let's say, Karma,
Yeah.
you get a ping at your contact info that you left with her, which is
Okay.
some sort of burner account, and it's like like an email basically saying, "Hey, I think I have your briefcase. Hopefully you have mine. Can we meet up
Meet up and exchange.
for lunch tomorrow and exchange it or something?"
Sure. I will, of course, agree and set up a date, I guess, to meet up with her at a specific place to go and eat.
Okay. Do you pick the place or do you let her pick the place?
I let her pick the place. And also I would want to put a bug in her, sew it into the lining of the briefcase so that we can be tracking her. So if that briefcase is with her everywhere she goes, then it's going to be an accurate bead on where she is all the time.
Okay, so
Ooh.
like a tracker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that.
Eye gear.
I would say the spy gear would allow for that. How are you going to hide it? You said you were going to sew it into the lining sort of thing?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. I would say this would be like, again, you guys got to call for rolls, but like this sounds like a rig roll, or is there some other way is there another skill that you guys think that would allow you to hide this bug?
Maybe skulk in a way.
Skulk would do it. Yeah.
It sounds like rig.
I mean, skulk would be, hey, I know where to hide things. It's in that far, corner where all the fuzz and paper clips get, put in. Or rig if you want to take it apart and put it back together, and really hide it. But
it sounded like Aaron was talking about sewing it into the lining, so that
Yeah.
sounds like a rig roll to me.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna say you guys are experienced enough that this won't require a roll.
Okay.
So you have planted a tracker in her briefcase. All right. So next day is the meetup to shift things back. She's selected a restaurant in the skyrise that she's in. That's kind of a part of a food court sort of thing. So it's a public meeting area, but not a super expensive restaurant or anything like that. Just, she's not actually saying, hey, we're going to have lunch, but this is where we're going to at least exchange briefcases.
It's Sabaros. You could just say Sabaros.
Sure, Sbarro. It's pizza-like things. Or you could order a Stromboli or something.
Okay.
All right. You get there, and she say, "Thank you. You don't. This is a lifesaver." She checks her briefcase, looks that all the tablets are there. It's like, this is my life's work. So if you, thank you very much for returning it. I was so frantic last night. I was so relieved when I got your email. Thank you very, very much. And that's when the explosion happens.
Oh, goodness.
A buoy.
What happens is the holo window gets blown out, and a hover car enters into the blown out window, and people start piling out from the hover car. And they all start rushing toward Karma. They all start rushing toward you and Cambry.
Okay. I'm gonna move with them and grab her, because wherever we're going that way, which is away from this.
You're
Whole plan
moving
has
with who?
come-
You're moving with who?
Cambry.
Okay. Yeah, she hasn't done anything yet. She's stunned because there was an explosion.
I grab her hand, and we are moving away from this explosion.
Okay. I'm going to ask, where is everyone else?
Oh man. Well, I was gonna say
Pretty sure we're all back in our own lab, right?
You don't have to be.
The lab we're borrowing.
I mean, you don't have to
We
be.
could flashback.
I was
Yeah.
almost gonna say, were we while she was down here doing this, were we infiltrating her actual
I was
house?
going to suggest that we were probably going back into the lab, but I don't have a really good reason to. I just wanted to.
I was looking at this as Ordwell's opportunity to be finally in a vehicle. Because he's been kind of like moping around all
you're
week. Is like
chauffeuring.
hanging out like surveilling and like just on the just hanging back in like a road. Probably the the equivalent of an inconspicuous white van, because this isn't.
Sure, we're all there. We're all in the ship. We're kind of keeping tabs on things, like we do.
Yeah. Because you're going to the meetup, something could happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could totally see having like two of the crew off, like trying to get into her lab while we know she's not there. But
But we've already done that. We don't have.
We've already.
reason
There's
go
no to
back
be any
yet,
surprises
so.
there. There's surprises here.
Yeah.
I
So
thought
yeah,
we were-
we're obviously all on the ship, and Ordwell is keeping us at a safe distance. We're probably just parked. We're arguing with a parking attendant.
Yeah.
The
white zone is for loading and unloading only.
Sorry, you have to move.
So is our ship too big to bring down into this level of the city, and like we would have to be in like some sort of like unmarked white van type thing, or?
Oh
is it
yeah, the ship
actually,
would
like-
not. The ship would not be flying here. Yes, you would not be flying the ship here.
We
this
do
would be
have.
you.
Don't we have a shuttle?
You know what?
Or was that
Let's
the
do.
last
I mean, this is where I would say you would call for like a flashback to get the van.
Yeah.
We have, didn't we? So it's been a little while. Didn't we have like a side vehicle that we had
You do.
acquired?
You have a Land Rover.
Okay. That's
Operative word
probably
land.
that's not going to fly.
Right. Right.
Like
Well,
every
well,
single, so flashback to acquire a vehicle.
Like a
right?
like if the ship had a shuttle, the shuttle would be perfectly appropriate.
Right.
But it
So
doesn't.
I would say you could call for a flashback to get a hover vehicle. And I would say we don't need to roll for it, but I would say it's a one stress flashback to acquire one
Sure.
that would
I'll take
fit
that.
all of you. Okay.
And I mean, Ordwell being Ordwell, he's going to look for something with a little extra under the hood.
Okay. Yeah, that
Yeah,
that
Not having
definitely
a convertible.
yeah, that definitely warrants the one stress there was that it's a van but with more pickup than people would expect.
Yeah, he's like talking to the guy at the front counter. He's like, yeah, okay, look, I don't need the minivan. I need the good one. Come on.
He needs the 18 van.
It's black with the red swoosh on the side.
Yep.
Meanwhile, we see the explosion, right? And so I think we immediately
You guys are like 2 levels down, arguing with the loading zone attendant, saying, "Hey, this is not for parking. This is for loading and unloading only." And then the explosion happens above you, and you see a hover car zoom into that hole, and it's like half in, half out of the hole, still running. And that's what you see as the glass rains down however many hundreds of stories. So
holy cow! Can we blast it?
So this is the building where the lab is, right?
This is the building where the apartment is.
Oh, where the apartment is. Okay.
Yes.
So I think somebody get on the horn with Karma and see what the hell's going on. I think we should arrange an evac.
I thought I have.
We have comms.
Everybody has communicator as one of the.
Oh yeah.
Everybody has communicator. Yes.
Yeah, and that's a 0 load. So
right. You just have it.
Oh, I probably should check off illicit drugs too.
I mean, that's if you have them. You were given some that you took. This is your own personal stash that you have on you.
I'm gonna just mark it down.
Okay. Okay.
Just mark it and then turn off edit on that field because you've always got it.
Yeah.
So somebody's getting on the horn to Karma?
Yeah, somebody's got to be the guy in the chair.
Yeah, who's talking to Karma?
We need a responsible adult, so I am out.
Doc, I think you're up.
I think that would be me. All right.
Just tripping the thing, just like so many buttons.
I imagine we all hear the explosion through the comm.
Yeah, some of you see it, some of you hear it. You all heard it through Karma's comm if you're monitoring her comms. Yeah. And you do have the tracker. The tracker is still active in the briefcase.
All right. Well, you're checking with Karma. Let's make sure she's still alive. Karma, you okay?
Yes, honey, this is not a really great time to talk.
We're going to send Ordwell to try to help you out.
Oh, that'll be fine.
Aren't we all on the ship with Ordwell? In the van with Ordwell?
Yeah, you're all in the van with Ordwell.
So we're all heading up there.
Right. Okay.
So we just need to arrange where we're going to pick her up.
Let's punch it up on the tablet so we can see where our quarry is, and you
have the public directory, Google Maps-ish sort of. You are here.
Okay. Well, no.
Okay.
Because we are tracking her with something.
Yes.
So we've got to have an overlay that sits on.
Yes.
Google Maps.
Yes.
Will you have the equivalent of a Google Maps thing for a multi-story building, and have the layout of the building like a mall map sort of thing.
And we've got the beacon on in the briefcase, if nothing else.
Right.
Right, but we should probably also. I mean, Karma's been tagged, right? Because our comms are probably tagged.
Yeah,
sure, we'll go with that.
All right. I'm just trying to determine that we know where they are.
Yes.
So I begin shouting instructions to our pilot. Head down this way, head around back. It looks like they're going to come out over here somewhere.
You can call up, there's, I don't know what fire exits look like in the future, but presumably there are ways to escape from the building in case of large explosion.
Yes.
We start angling towards that.
All right. So you race off and start angling toward that. Karma, what is you're trying to get away from these people that are obviously now chasing you. How are you going to do that?
Well, I presume that's going to be a bit of a scramble roll because I'm also trying to make sure she's in front of me and not behind me. I don't know who they're going after. It probably is her, but it could also be, me. It could be any other random bystander. So I'm trying to move into the kitchen and then put as much distance between uh, all of us as possible.
Okay. So you leap the counter. You both leap the counter, start heading into the back of the I want a different name than Sabaro, like a anagram of Sabaro, but I can't think of one right now. Pizza goes flying everywhere. You start heading into the back, and so you're gonna try and roll a scramble. Go ahead and roll your scramble. So you have
Okay. 2 on scramble.
You have 2 on scramble. Okay, good. Do you want
a 6 and a 2.
Oh, you're only going to roll 2. Okay, that was pretty risky. But you do it. Say you do it with. You can add another gambit. I think you're up to 4 now. From the last few rolls. You get into the back. I will say you get into the back just as the automatic fire just blows apart the sneeze guard, and the pizza goes flying everywhere. People are screaming, and so the storefront just explodes in a hail of bullets. And after a moment, that stops, and you hear other people leaping the counter and heading into the back.
Okay, I'm looking for a door back here.
Okay, yeah, there are multiple doors. Just narrate what you're doing.
Okay. Karma looks around and she finds the delivery door. And she actually, okay, so she finds the delivery door and she kicks that open, trying to give all the other people a place to go.
Mm-hmm.
So that there is a stream of people fleeing from the intrusion.
Right. You're going to use that as a distraction?
Yes. And meanwhile, she is actually entering. She's going to throw Cambry into the freezer.
Okay.
She's going to be kind of cold. And then she's getting ready in a sniper's position, or rather a good, how shall I say, a good place to get a backstab kind of, I guess a
hidden position.
Yeah, a hidden position behind in case they search. But she's kind of expecting them to go and start trying to figure out where, from the crowd, where that it's escaping.
Okay. Sounds like a skulk roll.
That sounds like a skulk roll. Yeah. Go ahead, Chris. What?
While that's going on, I want to turn to Jagger and say, why don't you go see if you can go get him?
Yeah, you see on your monitors that Kaylee has entered into the cooking area in the back and has stopped moving, as well as Karma. They seem to be like hunkering down and maybe hiding.
All right, I'll wait till
I'll go with you.
Finishes her skulk roll, and then we'll head out that way.
Yeah.
So why don't we resolve the skulk first, and then Jagger and apparently Twitch will.
I have to go. I'm so hungry, guys.
We'll meet
I'm
them.
so hungry.
Oh my God. So
right.
We need a skulk roll?
Yeah, so how are you, Aaron? You have your skulk, but do you want to push yourself or spend a gambit or anything else like that?
I'll push myself.
Okay, so that's 2 stress for an extra die. You guys have 4 gambit. I would say go ahead and spend it if you want.
Yeah, do it.
There's probably not too many more rolls left.
And what is the result of this roll? What is your desired outcome?
If they are coming and looking or search this, I will have a prime ability to just kind of backstab them and end the fight real quick.
Okay. What is your what weapon are you using?
I was going to use a melee weapon and kind of just zap
Okay.
them on the back of the head.
Okay. So go ahead and mark your melee weapon for your gear. And then so you got 2 for your action. You're going to push yourself for a third. Are you going to use the gambit?
Sure.
Okay. Just go ahead and roll your 4 dice.
I got 2 6s.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
That is a critical. You do it with increased effect. So it was normally going to be standard effect. This will be great effect. There's several of the people that bundled out of the car enter into this cooking area searching. And you, what kind of melee weapon do you have?
I have kind of a staff.
Okay, like a stun sort of knock him unconscious sort of weapon. Okay.
Yeah.
You the first one comes near you, and you stab him right in the sternum, and the charge goes off, and that guy kind of shakes for a second and then falls over. You then leap over the steel table, knocking some extra dishes apart, kick the woman who is right behind him, and then knock her unconscious as well. And then you see another person in the doorway who then spots you.
Okay.
So then we're going to cut real quick to Jagger and Twitch, I guess.
Downside.
You're on mute,
Still tripping.
Chris.
So at this point, we're getting out of the van and we're headed toward Cambry's beacon.
Yes.
So
it's not far.
So that's I'm guessing a scramble roll in and of itself.
I mean, there's no real risk.
Okay, all right.
At this point.
So the idea is to get to Karma and Cambry and lend aid where we can.
Okay.
If that means punching people, it means punching people. If it means shooting people, we can do some of that too.
Okay. So you're getting there as fast as possible?
As fast as possible.
Okay. I
am a lime green streak.
I'm going to make you know where they are. You don't know where their opponents are.
We have no idea how many there are or anything.
And right, the rest of you don't, because you haven't been able to communicate that. I'm going to make a fortune roll with 2 dice, and we'll see what sort of situation you run into. 5 and a 4, not too bad. Mixed result, limited partial effect. Okay. So Jagger, you are in the lead. Come around a corner, you see several armed people who see you coming, and they take shots at you.
Okay.
And your chassis is stitched with automatic fire.
Okay. Ow.
I'm assuming that you're going to want to resist this.
I absolutely want to resist this.
So how do you want to resist this?
That's a fine question.
You can scramble, you could stealth or skulk.
I think it's a little late for skulking if they've already spotted me, so I will go with this. I could scramble. So basically what Jagger is going to do is normally when he's booking it, he's in order to keep up appearances, he's upright on hind legs and just kind of smashing through doors and whatnot. Soon as the gunfire starts, he goes down on all fours, and he's like a cat after a laser pointer, just kind of darting all over the place to try to get
Nice.
out of the way of this fire. So
Nice.
that's and let's see. I'll push myself. I'll take two more stress.
I think for the resist, it's
for
just the
it's
attribute.
just a roll.
Yeah.
Okay. And I've only got the one die in that.
In scramble?
Oh wait, am I doing a prowess or am I doing a scramble? Because if it's prowess, I got 3 dice in a total prowess.
Resist roll says attribute, which I think is prowess.
So then I got 3 dice.
You have 3 dice in that. Yep.
Yes. Booyah, baby.
And then the highest die will subtract from the base 6 stress for damage.
The highest die is a 6.
Okay, so
I actually got a 654.
So yeah, so the automatic fire comes through. You saw the gun coming up. Jagger drops to all fours and twitches around and zips around on the floor, and none of the bullets actually hit.
Get him!
Okay.
Get him! Get him! Get him! Get him! He's scrambling around trying to find a pizza.
So the 3 of you now are together. You're in like 2 separate rooms, but you all see each other. And there are 4 more people here that are looking around. Obviously, they see the new entrance of Twitch and Jagger, but they also know that their quarry. They don't think their quarry went down the corridor that you came up.
Over the comms, Karma, we've sent in Jagger.
It's Twitch.
Oh, okay.
And Twitch. Yes. Sorry, Twitch. Keep forgetting you're there.
So we can run interference if you want to get Cambry back to the ship. Maybe. I don't know if that's.
Do I have any more opposition to me leaving this room?
You can leave the room, but there are 4 more combatants that are now engaged just outside with Jagger and Twitch.
Okay. Well, then now, given that there's been a flood outside of the back delivery area, anybody who is going to attract attention, I presume that way is going to be clear. So Karma moves over and opens up the freezer.
Okay.
And
Go ahead.
she sees the woman there.
Yeah. Yeah. You see her. She sees you. And you're going to need to resist a leg of soy beef that is being, swung at your head.
Okay. How do I resist that?
So you would tell me which attribute you think would best resist. I'm guessing like prowess, or you could do like resolve and be like, like say something. There's narrative. You have narrative control as to how things shake out.
You're gonna get 3 dice if you do prowess, same as I did, because it's the first column in prowess.
It's that gray column.
You're doing a resist.
So you have 3 X's in that gray column, which means that's your prowess attribute is 3.
I have 2 X's.
No, the first gray column on Scoundrel is Scramble, Scrap, and Skulk. You have X's in all 3.
Oh, okay. Alrighty.
Yep.
Then I will be scrambling as I duck underneath said.
Yeah, you're using your prowess
leg of whatever
to duck the frozen food that is being swung at your head.
Yeah.
It's kind of a mix between all of them.
So
it's
you're rolling
full-on
3
prowess
dice.
I got a 5.
You got a 5. Okay, you take 1 stress from the swung frozen food, and then she sees who it is. So I'm so sorry. I thought you were one of the others, And so
I roll my eyes at her, puff my hair out of my face. Well, I happen to have a car outside or a ship outside. Do you want to come along and get the faces?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Okay. So I'll grab her hand and we go out the delivery towards our ship.
Okay. So there's more fighting and such. They see the two of you. A couple of them see the two of you running, and are going to shoot at you both. And then, of course, they're still shooting at Jagger, and Twitch is there now, so he's kind of in the line of fire as well. So they're all going to shoot at you. So
How dare they?
Let's do some resistance rolls as well. So they're shooting at you again, Jagger.
All right.
Twitch, how are you avoiding this damage?
By cowering and screaming. I don't know.
I mean, you're in a
Fair.
like from a narrative point of view, you could say that you're in.
Are we in the kitchen still?
You're in the kitchen's area, and you
okay.
you like use your insight to rig and hack something to cause a shower of sparks or something along those lines to try and shield you from sight and dodge out of the way that way. So this is a way that you narratively control how you resist.
Oh yeah, basically. So he'll flip on one of the I guess flame like stove tops and stuff and find like a can of like I don't know something and start spraying it in there to make the flame just go.
Can of spray cooking oil or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, that works. So you'll have 3 dice. You're gonna scramble again, Karma.
Yep. Oh,
and
sorry.
Jagger.
Yes.
Yeah. So everybody roll your. So the two of you will roll prowess, while Twitch will roll insight.
Ooh, okay, I got a 5.
Okay, so that's
I
1
got a
stress.
6.
All right, 0 stress for Karma. You are scrambling enough that the two of you get out of there without any bullets finding their purchase. Jagger, one of them catches you in the leg, and you take 1 stress and scratches your paint. And then Twitch, how'd you do?
So hypothetically, what if you get 3 6s?
That would be really great if it was a normal skill roll, but this is a resist roll, so only one of them is needed. So you will take 0 damage.
Well, I got 3. I got 2 1s and a 2. So.
2 1s and a 2. Oh, okay. So that is not 3 6s. What I will say is that you're going to take 4 stress.
Okay. Holy cow.
Because
Stress.
That's got to sting a bit.
yeah, because you get stitched by several bullets, and even though you're so and you don't have any armor, I don't think. Well, I mean, you could have armor if you use 2 of your your loadout.
I'll use it. I haven't really used anything that's actually load, so and
Okay.
I've got 5. So yeah, I could use 2 for that.
If you would, for a moment, look up armor and see how that reduces. I don't know if it reduces stress or if that just reduces harm. But armor. Yeah, never mind. Armor does assist in movement. Will shrug off a knife without noticing. Stops a few bolts. Okay. So.
Oh, you could just use that instead of rolling to resist.
Yeah. Is that how it works?
It says if you have a type of armor that applies to the situation, you can mark an armor box to reduce or avoid a consequence instead of rolling to resist.
Okay. Okay.
But I could say I'm using both of them.
The well, there's armor usage. There's armor, heavy, and special. You have one armor box, but the armor load is 2 load, and that gives you an armor box.
I gotcha. Okay, yeah, we'll do that.
Okay, so you head out. So Cambry and Karma head out and head back to the van. That leaves Jagger and Twitch. What are you guys doing with these 4 combatants?
Well, we certainly don't need anybody following us.
All right. Let me see what I can cook up. Ah!
Oh!
Since we're in a kitchen. And he's going to start putting down a frying pan. We don't really have bullets, do we? Oh, I mean, if I check off spare parts, could I have like actual bullets that I could put in the frying pan? That's with the stove lit up?
You could. I would say that you could rig something to cause damage, or are you trying to cause damage or delay them? Like what narratively are you trying to do?
Oh, I'm trying to cause damage.
Okay. So I would say that's a rig roll.
All right.
Are you trying to hit one of them or several of them?
I mean, it's pretty much just going to be like a kind of like a, I guess like a shotgun shot, so it hits however many it hits.
So a fragmentation type explosive.
Yeah, pretty
is
much.
what I'm hearing.
So if it hits all of them, cool. If it doesn't, well, I did something at least.
Okay. I would say right now it's risky with standard effect.
Okay.
And you're gonna do rig?
Yeah, I'll do rig. That's all I know how to do.
Okay. So 2 dice base.
All right. I cannot push myself because I don't have the stress for it anymore.
I mean, you could be seen on security cameras for an extra 2 heat for the crew, seen putting together an explosive device in the kitchen during a terrorist attack.
Oh, it sounds like it. Look, we all know you need the dice.
The devil's bargain. Take the devil's bargain.
But take a gambit. We'll do that
And
one at least.
Okay. And Devil's Bargain and Gambit? That's 2 dice. That'll give you 4
How many
dice.
gambits do we have? I thought we'd burned through all.
No, you kept getting 6s, so it's up to 4 right now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so now it'll be 3. No, I'm not going to take the Devil's Bargain.
No Devil's Bargain? Okay. All right, so 3 dice. Unless
brave man.
6.
You got a 6? You got a 6?
I got a 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you rig something with a frying pan and some spare parts and other stuff like that, and chuck it into the middle of these people, and it explodes. 2 of them are one of them is knocked through a wall, and the other one is knocked into a door frame, and both of them drop to the ground. There's still 2 of them left. And what is Jagger doing at this point?
So Jagger's going to do his good old dance of death. I'm going to do a scrap roll, which I have 2 pips in, and then I'll add my wrecking crew when striking in melee. So I'm just doing melee attacks against the last 2. So that's going to give me 3 dice. I could push myself with Unstoppable, but they're not really a small gang anymore. It's just 2 of them. So I'm just going to go with 3 dice for now.
Do you spend a gambit to gain potency on the action?
Yeah, why not? Since apparently we're swimming in them.
This will take you down to 2.
Okay. Take my what down to 2?
The gambit number of gambit left down to 2.
The number of gambits left. Okay, so and
2 for
potency
scrap
means that I gain a level of
effect.
Effect. Okay.
Yeah. So you get 2 for scrap. You said
1 for wrecking crew.
1 for wrecking crew. One for the gambit. Are you pushing yourself, or do you want a devil's bargain?
You know what? I've got some stress, so we'll go ahead and I'll take 2 more stress, and I will push myself as
All
well.
right, that's
so
5
I'll
dice.
do 5 dice this time. I will skip the devil's bargain. I'll regret it later.
I regret nothing.
I got 2 6s.
Okay, that is a critical. Yeah. So, yeah, you feel the crunch of bone underneath your steely fists.
What's best in life?
And very quickly take the remaining 2 down, and have enough. Like it's super quick. That these two people go down, and with that crit, you spot a tablet that one of them has, that might have information on who they might
just
be.
Make off with that.
Okay.
As we make our exit, we'll scoop that up.
Okay. I'm gonna say there's no more that you see. You all make it to the van and zoom out of there.
Wait! Before we leave,
Yeah.
we're gonna go in the freezer and grab a box of frozen pizzas.
Okay. All right. So you got the pizzas for the munchies, and you head out. You zoom off. What are you gonna do with Cambry?
Let her go. There's no reason we need to hold her.
Okay. She gives you directions to the research center place that she, obviously you guys don't know who she is. Ooh, wait a minute. You went in.
She's seen the professor before.
Yeah. You went in, and the professor's here, and there's this gang of people that just happen to have a van. Chris's character.
Oh.
The one who bumped into her and burned himself with
all
coffee.
over her at the very beginning.
Let me roll a fortune check to see if she thinks about stuff.
Put your Groucho glasses on.
Yeah.
The professor's wearing his Groucho glasses.
Okay.
We can do a flashback and say that you are in disguise.
She
very effective.
You think she recognizes the professor, but doesn't say anything, and just has you drop her off at the research center.
Okay.
And we'll say that you guys obviously won't be able to really enter that research center without everybody knowing who you are, or without her knowing who any of you are. You're no longer, faceless in the crowd. But given where you are, you cut your losses. You cut and run while the cutting is good. And getting back to Roy, given the time, getting back to Roy's stance, he's actually fairly happy with the tailing of Cambry. Has no idea who those people were that were after her, or so he says. And do you give him the information from the tablets, the research?
Yeah.
That was the deal.
Okay.
We're looking for the bonus.
You give him the info dump of stuff, and he pays you.
Are we
keep a
giving
copy,
him
obviously, but-
Are we giving him the stuff that we got off of the people that?
Oh no,
we just
that's
killed?
ours. That's ours. That wasn't part of our deal, so we keep that.
Okay.
Couple of things. Let's see. So, we're into downtime. You guys get paid 6 cred.
Ooh, yay.
That was pretty good.
So,
We want One for each of us and one for the ship.
One each and one for the ship.
And then, do you want to pay the upkeep on the ship
With that one?
with that one?
With the
Okay.
one, of course. Yeah.
All right. So everybody can mark a credit.
Well, actually, wait. Do we need to do any upkeep on the ship? We didn't use the ship.
If you skip it, we make
It's
an X where
it's
the
a
skip
one per
is.
session anyway.
Or it's just for it sitting there? Okay. Well, I mean, that's fine. We can.
I mean, you
I
have
we should.
used your ship, variously used your ship, not necessarily on the job, but
And the
that's where you
flashbacks and
live,
stuff.
etc. You're back on Warren, all that kind of stuff.
I gotcha.
I say we use it. Yeah.
Okay. And I said, let's see, it was loud and chaotic toward the end there, but not because of your fault. I would say. So I'm gonna say that you all. I would say you all. So you had the Devil's Bargain that got 2, and then 2 heat, and then you did a. This is a standard mission, but it was a little. It was contained-ish, but like I said, not your fault. So you're going to get another 2 heat for that. I am going to say you got 1 extra heat because she did recognize the professor and alerted the authorities about it. So you got 5 heat on that mission. So you are at 8 heat.
Nice.
Let's see. When you reach 8, you have you are wanted level 1 now
Nice.
and have 0 heat.
How do we remove heat again?
Downtime activities allow you to remove some heat. As well.
Once we hit a wanted level, though.
What you in order to clear a wanted level, you have to lay low in a different system.
I like going to the IOTA system.
Yeah.
So let's see. The thing is, though, is with your wanted level, you go to a different chart for your entanglements. Chris, why doesn't the professor? Why don't we have you roll a die 6 to see what sort of entanglements have been caused?
Yeah, sure. Why don't we? 2.
Unquiet black. What does that mean? An alien or way creature finds its way on board your ship. Acquire the services of a mystic or exterminator to destroy or banish it, or deal with it yourselves.
This is terrible for me. I'm tripping.
Treat the magnitude of the way creature as equal to the crew's wanted level in the system. Parasites, cargo you weren't told was alive, strange creatures hiding in unmapped lanes, bizarre physics effects. I say, narratively, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say that the brain slug that was in the new shipment that Twitch tried out has now taken up residence in your ship. In Twitch.
Of course. Nice.
And we'll figure out later how to get rid of that.
Okay.
But we've got some downtime activities if people want. Chris, I know that you are tired, so why don't we deal with your
if
stuff
you don't
first?
mind. So yeah, I'll he's going to go lay low in another system.
So lay low.
He's going to lay low.
If you are wanted, add segments to the wanted reduction clock. So there's a clock here on Rin that is a 8 segment clock. So you have to, if you're going to lay low, as one of your things, but roll a die 6. Or wait, no, not. How can you reduce heat in the system by 2? If you are wanted, added segments to the wanted reduction clocks and appropriate. According to your roll, what is the roll?
How about we actually pick up with our downtime next week? Next time we run.
Because then we'll cut into the rest of our normal stuff.
It sounds like the check is how you like what skill you use to reduce your heat.
What skill are you using to lay low? Like, I could totally see the Stitch just going and, spending his time not hanging out, but like helping people in a clinic as a way to lay low.
I was going to do 2 things.
Uh-huh.
So my vice is working at the clinic.
Right.
So I was going to indulge that. I already rolled for it. It took 6 stress off.
Nice. Okay. And that wasn't more than what you had, was it?
No, it was exactly what I had.
Oh, so, very good. Very good.
For me. And then I was going to lay low. If the lay low takes the form of working at the clinic, that's fine. Otherwise, he'll just hole up in the ship and sift through all this data we just copied.
Study.
That would be a study.
Roll a study roll.
I'll roll a study roll. That'd be a 2.
So you had 2 dice. What were both the dice? 2 and
1.
2 and 1. Okay. All right. So there is unfortunately only 1 pie wedge of the Trivial Pursuit pie wedge is filled in.
Okay. All right.
So that's both of those downtime activities. So let's say who wants to go next? Ordwell?
I'm gonna log off, everybody.
Understood.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Chris.
I'm gonna try and change our background here. There we go. I've just switched it to our regular streaming background, so I don't have to worry about shifting video all over.
I don't need to indulge my vice. I only have 1 stress, so I think I will focus on laying low.
You don't have any harm, right?
I don't have any harm,
okay.
And I only have 1 point of stress.
Okay, so you're gonna lay low.
Lay low, and I think I'm gonna just like do pod racing and so you have to go to another system. Or is that suggested, or is that
you start by hiding in another system?
I thought we all went to another system.
Like you can take the ship like it's a hand wavy. You go to another system.
Right. Gotcha. So I just do some like underground pod racing, car racing, speeder bike racing, just like with the lowest of the low, just like.
Sounds like a helm roll to me. Right?
So that gives me, yep.
So 2 dice?
Two dice.
If you get a critical, that's really good. That's why I'm asking for which dice are what. But
I got a 5 and a 1.
5 and a 1. Okay, so on a 5, you mark 2 more pie wedges. All right, so that's
be
3 out of 8. So that was your lay low, and then what else did you do?
I think that'll be it.
Just laying low?
Just so everybody else can get.
Do you want to train?
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot I could train.
Yep. So you get 1 XP, or you can get 2 XP if you train Insight because of the ship you're on.
I'll just get 1 XP because I want to put it into prowess.
Okay. I'm not seeing any. Are you marking that locally, or I'm not seeing any?
Yeah, I guess I have to go into I have to go and look at the sheet. I don't think I had my own copy, so I can go in and update the official copy.
Yep, no worries. All right. And then don't forget, look up for XP for everybody, and I'll remind Chris. But look up just mark the XP that you guys think you got during that. Karma, what are you doing during your downtime? And you weren't here last week for this part, so you have 2 downtime activities.
Okay.
One that most people usually take is a indulge vice, and that helps you reduce stress. So since you have 6 stress, I would recommend indulging your vice, which is more pleasure, more shopping therapy and tourist sightseeing in another system, evidently.
So she's in a new system, so she's got to go sightseeing.
And so the way that you indulge your vice, and I can't believe I already forgot about this. You roll your worst attribute rating, which is your insight, which is a 0. So you're going to roll 2 dice and take the lower of the 2 as your result.
4.
Okay, so 4 is the lower. So you get to remove 4 stress.
Oh, okay. Yes, I rolled a 5 and I rolled a 4.
Got it. So yeah, so you'll start the game. You'll start the next session with 2 stress already. Okay. You could indulge again, but if you roll over the 2 stress you have remaining, if you roll 3 or higher, you overindulge, and there's a consequence for that.
No, what's this training thing that?
Training allows you to get more XP. It allows you to. You can mark an XP in one attribute, like insight, prowess, or resolve, or you can do it in your playbook for the playbook advancement, which allows you to get another special ability on your playbook.
So could I, like, mark another thing for Skulk?
No, it's so you. I'm going to show here. See the squares I'm highlighting on the sheet?
Nope.
On the scoundrel, it's in blue. You should see where I'm selecting. Like you're selecting a box in a tune right now, I think.
No.
Okay. So insight, prowess, and resolve are 6 XP total. Once you reach the 6 XP, then you can mark like an extra point in Skulk if you wanted to, or an extra point in Scrap.
Oh, I see now where you are. Okay, so I can get 2 of those boxes.
You can get 1 of those boxes. If you decide to put it into insight, because of the ship and the crew you're with, you can mark 2 of those boxes. Because they have a special insight crew training for the Star Dancer.
I'll just take the one in prowess.
Okay. And then in the middle, in the gray area at the bottom where it says XP, read through that section, and that gives you more XP. So like you struggle with issues with your vice or traumas during the session. You went shopping in the middle of the session.
Okay.
To get that briefcase, you get an XP that you can mark. That you can mark in either your. You could add another one to prowess if you want, or you can add it to any of those others.
Okay.
And then anytime you make a desperate roll, I don't think anybody made a desperate roll, did they?
No.
Okay. So if you address a tough challenge with charm or audacity, if you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background, you would get XP, or you struggle with issues with your vice or traumas during the session, that also gives you XP.
That's about all I did this session.
Okay, so if you've got, so that was indulging your vice and training. That's your 2 downtime activities. In the future, if you want to have more downtime activities, it's 1 credit per extra downtime. So, but I can tell you're tired too. So if you want to bow out, go ahead.
Thank you.
Chris, if you're still there, we could pop back to you since I think you're also turning into a pumpkin like some of the rest of us.
I'm absolutely here. I just want you to see me scarfing down tater tots.
Okay. Robots don't eat tater tots. Or maybe they do.
Jagger wasn't eating
Jagger.
potatoes.
All right.
Chris was. So for my downtime activities, I am going to go ahead and indulge my vice so I can get rid of some of the 7 stress that I'm currently carrying.
Ouch.
My vice is stupor. I will explain it. Basically, as previously mentioned, Jagger has suffered some catastrophic memory loss. And the thing about catastrophic memory loss is it turns out it feels really good. And so with his downtime, Jagger's trying to chase that a little bit. And what happened in the bar at the beginning, that was a little bit of that. So they're kind of more along those lines, but like experimenting with, trying to get the sensation without the memory loss is kind of what he does for his stupor vice. So I think I'm just rolling 1 die because yes, insight is my worst, or insight or resolve. So let me go ahead and roll 1, and hopefully I can get rid of a decent amount here. 4. Okay, we'll take that. We'll take that. And then I think for my second, I will just do a lay low.
Okay. So you're lay low. How are you going to lay low?
I'm going to go ahead and we're going to the IOTA system. I think we agreed as a crew. I'm going to find some illegal underground robot pit fight, and I'm going to engage in that, and we'll do some scrapping.
Sounds
for
good.
The lay low roll.
Sounds good.
So that's going to be 2 dice. Let's see what we get for that. The higher roll is a 2.
Is a 2. Oof. Okay.
Yeah.
So 1 more. You're halfway there.
All right.
Sounds like you might be moving to the IO system or IOTA system for a little while.
It does sound that way, doesn't it? I think that takes care of my downtime. All right. I will probably mark an XP for the little scrap at the end there, and that's about it.
I will tell you this. You were the one that picked up the tablet, like the Expanse Clear phone, whatever it happened to be, from one of those people. And what you're able to, you're not able to dig really deep into it or hack it before it gets remotely shut off. What you are able to glean off of it, though, was that it belonged to, like there was a message that came through that you were able to track that these were agents either hired by or part of the Church of the Stellar Flame.
Okay.
I had a feeling.
Cool.
They happen to be the church that when the new hegemony leadership became ascendant are the ones that politically destroyed and are basically hunting down all of the members of the Church of the Emerald Heart.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which the church is no longer, so they're they're
the mendicants.
Yeah, mendicants.
Of which
mediators.
Of which Cambria
was.
Yeah.
It all ties together.
I was like, that makes sense.
So, all right. Josh or Ken, who wants to go?
All right, Ken.
I already went.
You already went. You did already go. Okay.
I did go.
So that makes the choice easy. Josh.
I have to remove some stress here. I've got 8 stress right now.
How terrible. You had to get stoned during the... and now after we're done, what do you got to do? You got to go get stoned again.
So that actually kind of brings me to a, I guess, an experiment of, I guess. Because what Twitch likes to do is abuse his drugs so much that he tries to basically experiment on himself to try to get to the point where he can hear the precursors speaking to him. So I don't know.
Right.
I know that there's like clocks and stuff that you could do for like experiments and
Well, first you're
things
going to
like
try
that,
and
like-
you're going to
But yeah.
try to indulge your vice to get rid of stress. So
Oh, yeah.
you're going to use your awesome prowess and roll 2 dice and take the
And
lower
take-
of the 2.
Great. This is gonna be so good. Oh yeah, 3 and a 1. Yeah.
Okay, so you can remove 1 stress.
Whoa.
And you have another downtime activity. So you could try to indulge your vice some more and remove some more stress. You could use recover and try to remove your harm.
That I'm still tripping.
Yeah.
Gotta tell this guy he got some good stuff, man.
What's that? It's that brain slug. You just don't know it yet.
Oh, okay, there we go. No, we're gonna try to reduce stress. I gotta get
Stress?
rid of
Okay.
some of this.
2 dice. Lower
Oh, there
the
we go.
2.
6 and a 5.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you can reduce
there we go.
5 stress.
Woohoo! All right, that
And
was
if you
the one I
want to
needed.
spend a credit, you can spend a credit and get 1 more downtime action if you wanted to try and reduce more stress or trying to reduce your harm.
I kind of like having the harm. That sounds. Well, I guess that falls into my question then. Would starting to try to experiment on myself to get I don't even know what that would be like.
That would be, I think what you're talking about is a long-term project.
Yeah,
to-
like a long-term project.
Like you're basically trying, you're using your vice to try, it almost sounds like to attune to the way.
Yeah.
You're trying
For
to
the
attune to the way, maybe in a bad way. But but this is more than just attuning. You're trying to a long-term project to reach out to the precursors is what you're saying.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And something will happen at the end of that project. Let's see. How big?
I mean, we
is
could go over
project?
like all the specifics of that in downtime, like
Yeah.
throughout
So
the week if you want.
so I would say you're attuning. Right?
Okay.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, that's kind of what he's.
So I would
does,
roll 2 dice.
Okay. 6 and a 4.
Okay.
Now
you
I get the good rolls.
Okay, so you'll add. I'm gonna say that's like an 8 segment clock.
Okay.
And you've filled in. You got a 6.
Yeah, 6 and a 4.
You fill in 3 of those things.
Oh, nice. Okay. And
so
then
here I'll.
sorry.
There's a clock
yeah.
at the bottom of your sheet, so I'm just gonna fill those in.
Cool. And then I gotta take away a credit because I'm guessing that was also a downtime.
That was your
activity.
third downtime. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All
All right. Credit well spent, in my opinion.
Well, I understand. Obviously we're as I said at the top of the show, we're middle aged, and well, sometimes we go to bed early. Early. Right now, it's 11 o'clock our time. So thanks everyone for watching. And if you are picking this up later on YouTube or the podcast, hit us up with some feedback. We're layerofsecrets.com, at Layer of Secrets on Twitter, Layer of Secrets on Twitch, and what was it? Podcast at layerofsecrets.com is our email.
Sounds right.
I think. Anyway, have a good night, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.